Staying with sport though, now we cross live. Venue hosting Drogheda United as the battle for points continues in the League of Ireland.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
It's bottom against top in tonight's instalment in the League of Ireland's very unpredictable season so far. Sligo struggling at the bottom might be one of the few predictable things we have seen, but even they are among the league's top scorers, and a draw against Cork last week showed they are up for the fight for Premier Division safety. Their visitors, undoubtedly the story of the season so far. Drogheda remain top even as their dream start to the season faltered with 2 draws and a defeat in their last 3. Kevin Doherty's men looking to get back on track at the showgrounds. Which is where we are on Virgin Media 2 this evening. It's Sligo Rovers against Drogheda. Kickoff is at 7:45. Good evening. Hard to keep track of all the stories this season with another hectic double-header weekend in store. Safe to say, expect the unexpected. Vinnie Perth and Conan Byrne in studio to make sense of it all. And we do have a full card for the lads to look at in the Premier Division this evening. The comeback Kings Bows, with 3 dramatic wins from 3, take on Waterford, who ended a 7-match run of defeats last week. Second bottom, Cork City are at home to Shamrock Rovers, who took just 2 points from their last 3. Memories of their title-winning night last November for Shelbourne at Derry this evening, and a big game at Richmond Park as Pats in third take on Galway in second. We'll bring you the goals from all of them when we are done at the showgrounds. Galway in second, only in goal difference, of course, from Drogheda, and only 3 points separating first and 7th. And tonight's hosts Sligo just a little adrift at the bottom. Vinny, is that the way this season is going to be right to the end, or are we still in the settling in period?
I think there's some signs from some of the teams, particularly Shamrock Rovers, with the amount of players they're getting back. They are starting to motor, but I still feel, I think most people would agree, the top 3 are in a lot of people's predictions of Shamrock Rovers, Shelbourne and St Pat's were a team to beat, and a lot of people had them in different orders. Still feel that's the case. But none of the 3 of them are being looking like champions elect in any way, shape or form. A lot of them would have concerns about their current form. So, but it's made for a brilliant season. I mean, Drogheda and Galway are ahead of the 3 of them and comfortably winning games of football. So it's great. It's brilliant to see. It's just
long may it continue.
It's just so unpredictable. It's so difficult to forecast anything.
Conan made the point there that maybe one of the things people did expect pre-season was that Sligo would struggle, and you look at that table and it feels like a little bit of a gap there. They've got Rovers and Bows in the next week after this. Does that make this a huge game for them to try and get something so they don't see that gap starting to appear down the bottom?
Yeah, it is a huge gap, but interesting comments from John Russell during the week. He was basically talking about the players coming through at pre-season and not being fit, players that he signed. And then obviously winning in Waterford two games ago, 4-0. Poor defeat up in Derry when they were defeated 3-0, but defensively they've been letting a lot of goals in, 25 goals, but only 1 shot on target they conceded against Cork, and unfortunately for them it was a goal. Very inexperienced at the back as well. They have a 17-year-old McElroy and 18-year-old Conor Reynolds at the back as well, so you have to give them a little bit of credit as well for bringing players through from the academy. Which
has been kind of forced on them a bit by that sort of budget issue that they have, and they're up against the surprise league leaders this evening. We're going to check in with the 2 sides now. We're going to hear from Drogheda boss Kevin Doherty in a moment, but first Sligo Rovers manager John Russell has been speaking to Will Dalton.
John, perfect night for football. Just one change to your team. Is that just to freshen things up, or have you something else in mind?
Yeah, look, Conor Malley, for me, look, last year he was probably one of the best centre midfielders in the league, and to get him back in the team tonight, looking forward to seeing him play.
Apart from the Derry results, in the past 3 games there have been some positives. Are you looking to try and build on that this evening?
Absolutely, yeah. We had a tough first round of games, conceded a lot of goals, but we've shown time and time again this season that we've got a lot of firepower, and we need to see that again tonight. Be defensively solid. We were away to Waterford, we won 4-0, even at home to Cork here, even though we drew the game, conceded 1 shot on target. We know we'll have to be at our best tonight, especially with Drogheda on the transitions. They're very good on the counter, so we'll have to be secure for those.
It's a perfect night for football here this evening. A couple of changes to your side from the one that lost to Galway. Can you run us through your team and your thoughts?
Yeah, look, we have got a couple of changes, and it's something that we haven't done much, but I feel this is the right team for tonight, and obviously there's an element of the schedule coming up as well that we have to start using our squad a little bit more, but we're certainly bringing in a lot of quality. I mean, Elicha Ahui comes back into the team, and Paul Doyle, it was excellent even when he came on last week. So, but again, the impact from the bench, the game's more than 90 minutes, it doesn't start in 11, it's certainly not going to be the team that finishes. So yeah, look, a couple of changes, but there's a few reasons for that. 2 draws and a loss from the last 3, but still top of the Premier Division. Can you talk to me about the confidence in this team? Is it still riding high, or could they do with a win? Very confident. Look, as you said, we're top of the league for a reason. Everyone's dropped, I wouldn't even say dropping points. You talk about those 2 draws. It's against St. Pat's and Shelbourne, and then we were very unlucky to lose last week in Galway as well. So no, confidence is really high. We're very happy with how the season has gone so far. But again, we're only a third way into it. We want to make sure that we keep picking up points. We know Sligo is going to be a very, very difficult game for us there. Second highest top scorers in the league, so they have a massive threat, but we have to just make sure that we do our job. I wasn't obviously happy with a couple of things about last week, the goals we conceded, but look, you're never going to be happy with that. We still have the best defensive record in the league, so you have to just make sure we get back to that and be ruthless in both boxes.
Yeah, none of the big guns around them able to take advantage of Drogheda's slip-ups in recent games, so they're still riding high 12 games in to this season. Let's go down the other end first of all and have a look at one of the positives from Sligo's season so far. You mentioned before those interviews there that because of financially they have to bring in academy players they develop themselves. Owen Elding, with 5 goals this season, has been a big beneficiary of that, and he's doing really well with the chance he's been given, isn't he?
He's been fantastic. His father Anthony obviously played for the club over 2 spells as well, won an FAI Cup back in 2013 for Drogheda, but his son has kind of taken on the reins as well, and he's been absolutely fantastic in terms of his ability, his movement. You'll see here just in picture, it's just, look, he always wants the ball in areas, and he gets in the 6-yard box. It's a simple finish, just a great bit of movement. Look at here, he's just pointing to exactly where he wants to go. This is a tremendous header of a football. Ball's in, just glanced header. Troost in the Cork goal can do nothing about it. This one here is just all about ability. Just knows where the keeper's in no man's land. But he's able to have the confidence to take it back onto his favourite left foot rather than just swipe at it with his right. And this one here, again, looking for the ball, always looking for it, always in a position to receive it, and then getting above the full-back. Great header, brilliant header. This one is a little bit different. He actually doesn't score this goal. This is against Cork last week. You see him here, he's amongst players, but he just had a quick glance at the back post, saw nobody there, puts it back into a dangerous area, and frankly Lomboto knocks it in.
Instinctive stuff?
Absolutely instinctive stuff. But at the end of the day, at 19 years of age, to have that awareness, that movement, and again, that finishing quality is fantastic.
His dad scored the winner in the 2013 Cup final against Drogheda. Ryan Brennan was playing for Drogheda that day. He's been left to the bench tonight. Maybe it's just too depressing for him to play against your dad. Their defence, though, has been the issue, Vinny. Like, you don't have to be a football scientist to figure out that. They've scored, only 2 teams have scored more than them in the league. They've scored they've conceded 25 goals in the season so far. What's going on there, Er's back?
Mixture of sort of combination of different things. Got a couple of young players in their back 4. John Mann hasn't really hit the heights when he first went away, but you're 2 minutes away, you're travelling to Dublin, 2.5 minutes in, you concede. There's a little bit of lack of leadership. They're not the smallest team. No one picking up the box here, you can see. And the manager has a philosophy, and that's fine. They're playing a lot of football, making a lot of passes, but with young players and you're not starting the game well, those little risky moments, and it gets the fans on your back, and they're 1-0 down again chasing games. And they went up to Derry, Conor touched on earlier on, and they were just so easily and so open beaten. This is just a simple header that needs a little bit of leadership from whether it's the goalkeepers, John Mann. There's no one behind them, just head it away behind you, or whatever the shout is. And you look at this goal here, it's an outstanding goal by Derry's point of view, but Sligo are so open. There's no one making a tackle, no one with the leadership. That's the ugliest part of the game, where you make that foul on the halfway line. Like, they've got to do a little bit better. But a little bit on what Conor has touched on, there's a lot to like about this Sligo team. They keep the ball, they keep it well. I just think they need to move it forward a little bit quicker. I mean, you think, we've touched on Elding, obviously, but Lomboto coming off the bench as well. They've got a threat in them forward areas.
And is available this evening off the bench for the first time since last September, scored 7 goals for them, Sligo. Let's get on to Drogheda, though. And again, if if you just look at the stats of it, there's no doubt where their success so far this season has been built on, Conan. Only 9 goals conceded, 6 clean sheets so far. And you both want to talk about not just the defending, but the structure that Kevin Doherty has in the team that is the backbone of that success so far.
Yeah, it's actually the first time he's actually changed the right wing back in Owen Lambe has come out of the team, scored against Shelbourne a couple of weeks ago. But Ahui, who's been so good for them last season, marked Michael Duffy out of the game. We can just see the cover that Drogheda have. You saw Lambe there, obviously not playing today, but look at the bodies they get around the ball. Vinny talked about it there, what Sligo weren't doing. Drogheda do it in abundance. 3-4 players around the ball. Keeley here in the 6-yard box, you want them out further. Unfortunately, it's Farrell that comes in and blocks it, and that's the one thing that you need to look at. They drop very deep, and it's important that they step out really quickly. That's poor defending from that point of view. But it's a great goal line clearance.
But his body's on the line, Conan, and that's the difference. You compare them to a Sligo's body on the line. They've only conceded 9 goals. Sligo have conceded 25, and you're starting to see in your clips why. It's throw your body on the line, die for your badge, all that stuff. Sounds lazy, but it's brilliant to see.
But it's more than that, Vinny, isn't it? Because, and you hinted at something there, of the philosophies of these two teams, and maybe it's a bit of a contrast tonight, because Drogheda, while they are top of the league, they have the lowest average possession in games of any team, and they're bottom of the possession stats of the league. So explain to us why that might be relevant when we're watching them tonight.
Well, what Kevin Doherty's done it really well is you look at, say, the 2 fullbacks, great example. They're not the best 2 fullbacks in the league, but he gets the very best out of them from a defensive point of view and attacking point of view. And on the philosophy, Sligo have made 4,520 odd passes. That's grand. Drogheda have only had 2,700. And their pass completion is only 50%, but they're winning the big moments in terms of in their own box and the opposition's box, and they're not passing for pass sake. They're getting forward a little bit quicker. It's not old school. It's not launching the ball. It's doing it in the right manner. The 2 wing backs joining in at the right moment on both boxes. And as Conor said, some of their cover is brilliant, but also some of their assists is excellent as well. They created that goal from one fullback crossing the opposite fullback against Shelbourne a couple of weeks ago. When
they attack and they've been taking their chances, as you can see, you have a chance to have your own say on that very question on Drogheda's season so far. And the big question is, never mind avoiding the drop, can Drogheda win the league? The QR code on screen right now, you can just scan that to cast your vote, and we'll show you the results later on in the programme. Big one tonight for both teams. From Sligo Rovers' point of view, heard from they had their AGM during the week, the incredible work that club does in terms of the fundraising behind the scenes, keep things going. Is it about just getting a bit of momentum and doing those basics that Vinny's talking about in terms of keeping the ball out at the back and giving themselves a chance in this league?
They've great players, and Vinny touched on it as well. They conceded goals very early on in games. They're at home tonight against the league leaders. It's a wonderful opportunity for them to put on a show in front of their home support, especially after the positivity around the AGM. John Russell rightly given the full support of the back of the chairman, and they should put on a good show this evening.
But for Drogheda, Vinny, they have Cork at home on Monday. Cork are second bottom. Are they looking at this? I read in the Drogheda Independent they were talking about a chance to cement their safety. But is this about kicking on again and showing those other big guns that they're here to stay? There'll
be a small part of the brain going, win these next 2 games, I think we're safe and we've another year in the Premier Division. But there should also be, particularly with where they've come from, a little bit of belief that they can chase European football. You've got to chase that dream. 10 teams, 4 teams get Europe, 40% chance, and they've put them, like you look, the start Shelbourne got last year, Drogheda have done a lot of the same things. So tonight's a big game for them as well.
OK, well, let's get to the showgrounds then. It is top versus bottom. Your commentators are Keith Tracy and first Dave McIntyre.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. What a beautiful evening it is as well at the showgrounds here in Sligo town. Drogheda United, the league leaders, taking on the bottom side. It really has been a fairy tale story for Drogheda United over the last 6 months or so. Rivaled really only by the exploits of Shelbourne in Irish club football, battling against relegation for so much of last season, finishing it with the FAI Cup and a playoff victory as well to keep their top flight status. Tonight they're hosted by a Sligo Rovers side that have struggled almost from day one. They've made one change to the side that drew in Cork City last weekend. Conor Malley, an unused sub in that game, makes his 10th start of the season. Ryan Manning drops out. Otherwise it's as you were here on Saturday. John Mahon partners the 17-year-old Gareth McElroy at the back. Malley joins Jake Doyle-Hayes in midfield with Hakiki, and the attack spearheaded by Kavanagh. But the real danger man of late has been Owen Elding, who's got 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 7 games. Well, there's our match referee, Paul Norton. His last 2 games refereeing Sligo Rovers have produced 15 yellow cards and 2 reds, so he could be in for a busy night tonight. A quick look at the Drogheda United starting 11. A couple of changes to the 11 that began the surprise defeat at Galway United. In come Elicha Ahui, who makes his first start of the season on the right, as does Paul Doyle, who joined Shane Farrell in midfield. Lambe and Brennan drop out. Amongst the scorers in that 3-0 win over Sligo last month was the captain Dara Markey, while Thomas Alua partners Warren Davis in attack. We're all set on a perfect evening at the showgrounds. Kick-off is next.
Once you quit smoking, you realise it's not the friend you thought it was. Quit for 28 days and start taking back control. Find out how at quit.ie.
So almost ready to go here in front of a decent crowd on a perfect evening. Keith Tracy alongside me for the game. What are you expecting, top versus bottom tonight? Sligo Rovers in particular desperate to get a little bit of momentum going.
They are desperate, Dave, to get that momentum going. I don't think they've been as bad as people may have felt. Conceded an awful lot of goals, but they've got half of it down. They have scored an awful lot themselves. Just need to close that back door and become a little bit more solid.
Yeah, only one team in the entire league have got more goals than Sligo Rovers this season. They've scored plenty. It's just at the other end of the pitch where the real issues have been. It's the most poorest defence in the league this season. In fact, these 2 teams last season conceded 110 goals between them. Sligo Rovers at 25 goals conceded already. They're already halfway towards their entire tally for the whole of the last campaign. And in fairness to Drogheda United, Keith, there was a reason why they were languishing around the bottom of the table for so much of last season. Just 9 goals conceded now in 12 games.
Yeah, they've well and truly put their attacking problems to bed this season. An awful lot of goals, but you do feel the success has stemmed from how good they've been defensively this season. But when you look at Davis and Alua up front, very, very capable of haunting teams also.
So there should be plenty of goals tonight. Certainly if the games between these 2 clubs last season are anything to go by. 21 goals produced in the 4 matches where they faced each other. 2 wins apiece. That ball is sent clear by McElroy, who is his young partner in crime alongside him tonight in defence. So Drogheda looking to put a little bit of early pressure on this Sligo Rovers defence that we've already referenced has been pretty vulnerable. So going with the long throw here from Conor Kane. The shot coming in, it was scuffed in the end by Paul Doyle, just didn't quite get the connection he was looking for, and there's a Drogheda United player down in the penalty area. So already we've got a little bit of a break in the play. It's going to be a goal kick for Sligo Rovers. Was Elicha Ahui, who'd gone forward for that long throw. Just got caught in the crossfire really as that ball arrived. First start of the season for Elicha Ahui on the right side of that Drogheda United defence. Paul Doyle back after an injury and a couple of substitute appearances. Good to see him back starting as well in the Drogheda United midfield. Ball sent long by Andrew Quinn. Bit of a lost cause there for Warren Davis, who brings some really good form into tonight's game. Warren Davis, a couple of goals, 4 assists in his last few games. He has been one of the real positives in the Drogheda United attack. But Galway United showed up some vulnerabilities in this Drogheda United team, Keith. There was a surprise defeat, and if there were a couple of problems caused for them that night, it looks like they're going to have another problem here as well, because Sam Sargeant has been asked to hold on to the ball. Because Drogheda United have a man down in the centre circle. And is it Paul Doyle?
It's Paul Doyle. Didn't see an impact.
Well, he went down all alone, and the team doctors already signalled to the bench that it looks like Paul Doyle's race is run, and this would be a really awful moment for the 27-year-old from Westport. He missed the first 6 league games of the season with a broken bone in his foot. The only appearance he's made this term have been as a substitute. And this is heartbreaking for the Drogheda United midfielder.
But they do have Brennan on the bench. He'll come in and do a very solid job for him. He's been brilliant.
Looks like his hamstring, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. They're always worrying once impact once somebody kicks you, you get a knee into the side of the leg, you can generally run it off. But when there's no impact and your player just pulls up, they're the ones that really worry you.
So the man who's placed in the side he took for tonight's game, Ryan Brennan, is going to be coming in, one of the old heads, veterans and hometown players from Drogheda United. Came right through their academy. Well, he had started all 12 league games tonight, until tonight. So he comes in. Brennan for Doyle. So an early blow to Drogheda United, but in Ryan Brennan they have an incredibly experienced operator.
Darragh Markey just handing over the captain's armband to Brennan as well.
So the game really yet to get going. 5 minutes in. So Brennan just onto the field, now skippering the side. And away we go again. Almost feels like we're starting all over again at the showgrounds. The ball cleared easily enough by McElroy. And then sent long by the Sligo Rovers captain, John Mahon. That'll be a running battle tonight, McElroy against Thomas Alua. And he's into the penalty area. Thomas Alua might go all the way here. And it was a really strong challenge that came in the end, and a vital one too from John Mahon. The Sligo Rovers captain has hurt himself in the process as well.
It's brilliant from Mahon. It had to be done. Alua just kept going down that left wing. Looked like he was running down a dead end. You see here, does really well to get away, wiggle down that wing, goes in between the two players. Big touch as he drives into the 18-yard box. It's a much needed interception from Mahon. I think he got a knee into the lower back. It'll be a sore one.
Yeah, Lugan able to avoid that collision when Mahon came in to make a very brave challenge. And he certainly left the 17-year-old Gareth McElroy for dead down that left wing.
You see the frailty in that Sligo defence. Lua just nice and direct, straight through the heart of them. Took a big challenge from the centre half man to stop it.
Thankfully, from Sligo point of view, John Mahon, born and raised here in Sligo. He's been at the club a decade now. He's back on his feet and will hopefully be able to shake this off. Approaching 150 appearances for the club in what is his second spell at the showgrounds. Players had his own injury issues, that ruptured Achilles 15 months ago now. So he'll be back on the field shortly, still nursing that impact gingerly as the corner kick comes into the far post, and nobody picking the man up, as the ball does end up in the hands of Sam Sargeant. So an early scare for Sligo Rovers. The ball found the head of Andrew Quinn. He couldn't generate any real power on the header to trouble the Sligo Rovers goalkeeper.
John Russell won't be happy with that. 7.5 minutes gone on the clock. Lewis run straight through the heart of the Sligo team. The corner into the box, uncontested. Free header for a Drogheda player.
He's looking to put more pressure on here. Alua that time on Conor Reynolds. Brennan. And the ball will come all the way back here to James Bolger, trying to find a loo, and quickly onto it as well was Darragh Markey, who's looked sharp. Markey, who started the night wearing the captain's armband, wears it no longer. Good ball across, and it's away by Mahon. Trying to make something of the dropping ball was Shane Farrell, but it will be a Sligo Rovers free kick.
It was Owen Elding done really well, just as it looked like the ball was going to drop to Shane Farrell on the edge of the box. Elding got in, just a little bump, manages to win a free kick for the Sligo team. It's been an unconvincing start from them defensively, Sligo.
I'm not sure you'd go as far as to suggest they're in a little run of form, Sligo Rovers, but half of the 8 points they've picked up this season have been delivered in their last 2 games. That win away to Waterford FC and then the draw with Cork City last weekend, which was an important point, albeit it was here at the showgrounds. Losing that game really would have cut them adrift at the bottom of the table. For Conor Reynolds. So stop-start opening 9 minutes or so. Played in beautiful conditions in the shadows of Ben Bulben on what is one of the best surfaces in the league, albeit plenty of sand popping up when you see the players put their foot through the ball. But it is a really good playing surface in comparison to some of the other places that have not wintered that well. They obviously are improving with some of the weather now we're having. Lewitt has really been at the centre of things for Drogheda United so far in the game. It did run away from Warren Davis. Sent back in by Andrew Quinn. And it was cleared by McElroy. And coming through that with real power was Conor Keeley. He's a huge man, Conor Keeley. And immediately having won that header, he is heading forward for this free kick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Keeley. Seen an awful lot of him last season at St. Pat's. Didn't quite work out as he would have liked. He's doing really well this season with Drogheda.
And it'll be Shane Farrell to take this. A man who earned the distinction last season of a league and cup medal with 2 different clubs in the same campaign. And the ball is headed towards goal, and getting his head to it was Owen Elding. Sargeant left his goal to get something on it, but it'll be another corner kick for Drogheda United.
It's just those little things. If you're a Drogheda attacking player, you're thinking there's no communication in this Sligo back 4. Sargeant coming out there, he's got to let a big roar that he's coming, get defenders out of the way, and easily come and claim that ball. Silly mix-up. Now they've got a set piece to defend.
So it'll be Farrell again on that far side. He's now started all 13 league games for Drogheda United this season. Absolutely vital to what Kevin Doherty is trying to do. He curls out to the edge of the 6-yard box. And a break outside to Brennan and try to help it back into the air. It was a rather weak effort though, and he's backpedaling now. And that's a foul in retreat by Elicha Ahui. He managed to bring down Kavanagh, who is leading the Sligo Rovers breakaway.
It's good play by Kavanagh. Ahui was always breathing down his neck to try and get this ball. Just gets that right leg across. And Ahui kicks through. The recovery runs from Drogheda though once that ball clears the Sligo box. It's brilliant.
Well, they've missed him, Elicha Ahui, this season, albeit it hasn't hampered their results necessarily, but a couple of substitute appearance against Shelbourne and St. Pat's this month after he returned from a knee injury. Actually scored a goal against Sligo Rovers in that 7-0 win in August. They have some defending to do here, though. It goes all the way through to Luke Dennison in the Drogheda United goal.
I'm not sure Kavanagh will fancy too many of those balls. Fighting balls in between him and Keeley.
Well, that was brave from McElroy as that ball was dropping. Farrell trying to keep this one alive. Trying to delay the throw-in of Conor Reynolds. Sligo Rovers will be looking to keep things relatively tight and for as long as they possibly can. Stepping out of defence impressively again was Keeley. It has fallen for Elding. Back it goes to Jake Doyle-Hayes looking to put some width in the ball now for Sligo Rovers. Hutchinson. And out it goes off Elicha Ahui.
Ahui started well. Keeley's winning that little battle between himself and Kavanagh so far. A couple of fighting balls up there. The centre half is winning the majority.
Well, that was a not so subtle push in the back by Conor Keeley there, and it's a free kick for Sligo Rovers in a really threatening position. Kavanagh felt the connection, down he went, and this could spell trouble here for Luke Dennison in the Drogheda United goal.
It's good centre forward play by Kavanagh. Ball up to him is a difficult one to do anything with, but he feels the two arms of Keeley on his back. Goes over. It's a good opportunity now for Sligo. Put some good quality into the box, get the big lads going at it.
Instead of the left-footed effort of Will Fitzgerald, it looks like it's going to be Doyle-Hayes. I wonder, will he have a goal on his mind? Maybe a tester for Dennison. Yet to score this season. Drops around the edge of the box and a chance! Scuffed over the crossbar. Leaning back was Owen Elding, who probably had more time than he realised.
You can tell by Elding's reaction there, he should do an awful lot better. It's not the best free kick in the world. Shane Farrell just diverts it into Owen Elding's path. It's a good forced touch. But he's leaning back. A little bit of a rush of blood to the head, which you wouldn't associate with the young man. He's hit the back of the net, 5 goals this season. That was a rush finish.
He had 4 of those goals have come in his last 7 games, and he's fired in a couple of assists as well for good measure. And a man in his form and as confident as he is, the 19-year-old really should have kept that down and at the very least tested Luke Dennison. First real opportunity of the game. But they may well be emboldened by that. There's some space if they can find it. Good run forward by Elding again, and he's looking to hurt this Drogheda United defence once more. Elding still going, great ball across. It's clawed away by Dennison and cleared by Ahui, but only as far as Reece Hutchinson. Well, Drogheda United have managed to survive those 2 Sligo Rovers attacks. And they had their goalkeeper to thank there.
It was excellent from Elding again. As soon as he picked up the ball, you could tell Bolger wasn't comfortable, didn't want to come out and engage. Elding drives into the box, visited across the 6-yard box. There's nobody there in a Sligo jersey trying to take advantage.
Yeah, Kavanagh was closest to it. But a promising couple of minutes for the hosts.
Well, Elding is the one this season from a Sligo point of view. It's poked his head above water, shown he can be the one to score goals. The Sligo team over the last 12 months has had the spine absolutely ripped out of it. Power, Chapman, McGinty and Moran all leaving. You need players to come to the front, and Owen Elding definitely seems to be the one.
We're back with more League of Ireland action for you on Monday evening. Derry City taking on St Patrick's Athletic. Join us on Virgin Media 2. And then Friday it's Shamrock Rovers hosting Drogheda United on the 9th of May on Virgin Media 2. Same channel as well for Bohemians against Shelburne, Friday, May 16th. And then it's the champions again, Shells, hosting Drogheda United on Monday, the 19th of May. All of those games on Virgin Media 2. The games continue to come thick and fast in the League of Ireland Premier Division this season. What a promising season it's shaping up to be. 3 points separating the top 7 sides going into tonight's round of fixtures. That is going to be a booking. The referee was right on the spot. Shane Farrell that's gone down and stayed down.
It's a sore one. Just loses the run of the ball. Shane Farrell gets there first.
So Fitzgerald is the first recipient of the referee's cards tonight. In by Farrell again. McElroy flicks it away. You can actually just see Conor Keeley just gesticulating towards Farrell, complaining really about the lack of quality in that delivery, because he's used to Shane Farrell and what he is capable of from those set-piece situations. Another long throw incoming. Mahon rose highest. refusing to give up on this one was Conor Kane. And Sligo Rovers deal with it again. McElroy once more.
Did well. Clear the lines here, Sligo. Drogheda will keep the big boys up there. Second phase, third phase. Don't want to mess around with the ball.
Another long throw away by Mahon again. Now it goes to Conor Kane. Kane is Markey closest to him, but opts to try and get the cross in. He'll have to settle for another throw in.
Start looking through that Drogheda lineup. Quinn, Keeley, Bolger, all big boys, all good targets.
Conor Kane, another member of this Drogheda United team that started every game. Sligo Rovers eventually do get it clear, only as far as Farrell. Takes a touch, puts it back into the edge of the area. And Farrell just retained his position defensively, and he was able to tidy things up there for the retreating Ryan Brennan, but the kick out from Dennison wasn't the best. Who did well. Maybe a chance here for Elicha Ahui with this throw-in. Markey gets it back from Ahui. A lot of space on this left-hand side. If Drogheda United can find Conor Kane, they've opted to stay down that right flank. Again, Kane just slaps his thighs in frustration that he wasn't picked out. Across it goes to Conor Reynolds. A little show and go there, shimmy, and the ball's played out wide to Hakiki. There was good skill from Will Fitzgerald. 2 in that penalty area. The knockdown is dealt with by Ahui, and Dennison leaves his goal to collect.
It was dealt with in the end by Ahui. I think it was rather fortunate. The ball went over his head as they try and redirect it back into the box. It just hits him. Wasn't the most convincing defending, but he got away with it.
Kenke, there was Owen Elding. Sligo Rovers need to feed him the ball as often as they possibly can.
Yeah, sometimes tactically you can get bogged down, get a feel for who's getting the better of their opposite number. Just keep giving the ball to Owen Elding.
Left clear by McElroy. It's tidied up for Reece Hutchinson. No ball inside to Doyle-Hayes. It's laid off by Elding. In fact, laid off initially by Conor Malley, who hasn't seen much of the ball in the game so far. All that action on the far side taking place right in front of John Russell, the youngest manager in the league. He's got a difficult job on his hands this season. Here's Mahon. Cross it goes to Reynolds. Elding trying to get as wide as he can on this right-hand side. Reynolds not using him just yet. Here's Malley. Helped along the way by Jake Doyle-Hayes. As far as Mahon. Space inside now for Doyle-Hayes again. Elding is pushed inside, so they're a little narrow on the right-hand side. They do need to encourage him to hold his width as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure what pass the centre midfielder seen there. Flicked one out to the right wing. There was never anybody there. Maybe encouraging Reynolds to get on his bike.
Ball by Kane. Well, a little bit of space now for Will Fitzgerald, and he picked out a pass for Hakiki. Just forced him wide a little. Hakiki to the edge of the area. Malley. Fitzgerald still forward. And Elding makes space for the shot and just pulls it a little wide. But again, it shows how confident he is. Any sort of a shooting opportunity, he's happy to go for it.
You can see that's exactly what was on Elding's mind as soon as he picked up the ball. A little bit scrappy in the 18-yard box. Picks it up when he's back to goal. Turns on his left foot. Doesn't quite get hold of it. Drags it wide. You can tell he's in the mood.
One of the players who spent time in the academy here at Sligo Rovers after his father was signed for the club 12 years ago. Anthony Elding, who's played for the Bit of Red before him.
I would have played with Owen Elding's father, Anthony, at Stockport all those years ago.
That makes you feel old when you see his son doing so well at Premier Division level. Up against the long throw this time. Back he goes to Farrell. It's a rather aimless hoof into the penalty. They might make something of it though, and the header coming in at the end, and it was right over the head of Sam Sargeant. Shane Farrell just seemed to be lumping the ball forward, hoping for the best. Well, they almost got the best, because it was a pretty good effort in the end from Bolger. He just couldn't keep that header down.
It's a good ball in by Farrell. It's Keeley wins the header. It's Bolger gets his head on it, just can't get over it to get it under the crossbar. It's one centre-half winning the first contact, the second centre-half winning the second. Again, Sligo unconvincing.
Bolger's last goal was in that promotion relegation playoff against Bray Wanderers in November, and he is a real threat in the air, Bolger. Game's starting to open up a little. Almost 25 minutes in. That's a poor ball though towards Will Fitzgerald. It's cleared by Andrew Quinn. Fitzgerald again is becoming a bit more involved in the game these last few minutes. Played forward by Brennan. An awful lot that Thomas Alua could do with that one.
You can see what Drogheda are thinking. As soon as they win it, try and get Alua on his bike over the top. The minute he's been really well marshalled by those Sligo centre halves.
About 2/3 of the pitch now bathed in shadow. So it's getting quite dark over on that far side, and as a result, the powers that be have turned on the power here at the showgrounds. Floodlights are on this beautiful May evening. And John Mahon just got a little bit twixt in between there as he was facing his own end line in the end. Came out off him and out for a rather needless corner kick, so more defending for Sligo Rovers to do. And again, these big men coming forward, Bolger and Conor, Keeley and Elicha, Ahui. Big man joined too by Andy Quinn, and they're all together alongside Thomas Alua around that penalty spot. Sligo marking zonally, and that is a good job. John Mahon getting it clear. Back out it goes to Farrell, just pumping it back into the penalty area, and he'll break outside to the edge of the 18-yard box for Markey, and maybe Sligo can break over. They left it behind them. Markey again, but they got enough pressure on him as he looked to pull the trigger. Mahon did especially well.
It's a couple of times now. The reason they gave away the corner kicks was John Mahon just wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do with it. Again, they had a chance to get rid of it and didn't.
An early ball forward. Brennan coming back towards his own goal. He skied that a little and gets to the second ball as well, but Sligo Rovers have gone from back to front very quickly there, and they've won a corner kick of their own.
I expect Brennan to do an awful lot better there. Initially he does really well, wins the ball and just hooks it straight up in the air. He went and dealt with it, gave away the corner kick.
A corner kick that will be taken by Will Fitzgerald. 19th time in his career he's taken on Drogheda United tonight. He has 3 assists, looking for a 4th here. He almost got one, and it's still not cleared by Drogheda. Eventually putting his foot through it was Darren Markey, and that's well defended by Reece Hutchinson.
He would have been a little bit nervous there. Hutchinson left one-on-one with Davis.
It's an obvious foul on Conor Kane, so another chance for Farrell to send one into the Sligo Rovers 18-yard box. Again, they send all these men forward. There's not an awful lot of method to the set-piece deliveries. It's just Shane Farrell putting into the mixer, as they call it, and see what unfolds after that.
They haven't had to overcomplicate it.
In it comes again towards that back post. Not a back across goal, and there is the opening goal. Well, it may not have an awful lot to the imagination, the manner in which they're delivering this set piece, but it certainly is effective. Conor Keeley getting the benefit of that knockdown and putting the ball into the back of the net for his 4th goal of the season, and the league leaders are in front of the showgrounds.
That's brilliant from Keeley. Said Drogheda don't have to overcomplicate it. Shane Farrell just fires one to the back stick. It's brilliantly won. I think it's Quinn wins the initial one. One centre half wins the forced contact. There's Keeley. 2 goals against Derry a few weeks ago. Everybody loves a goal scored in centre half. That's exactly what Keeley is.
Well, when you have that much height and physicality, and they really have 4 or 5 different target men, why not just put it into the danger zone and try and live off the scraps and win those second balls, which is exactly what Keeley did after a powerful header across goal by Andy Quinn. And having started pretty well, Sligo Rovers find themselves behind. Here's Reynolds though, looking to respond. Gives the ball back outside to Elding. Curls one in left-footed. And Ahui simply was not going to allow Will Fitzgerald pass.
Excellent defending from Ahui. Knows Fitzgerald trying to spin around to the back stick, just gets hold of him without fouling. Really good. Nice feet from Fitzgerald on the edge of the box.
There's Reynolds, and he had his pocket picked by Thomas Ahui, who's bearing down on the Sligo Rovers goal again and didn't quite get anything on the effort of goal. It was an easy save at the end for Sam Sargeant. But when he goes at McElroy, he has the young central defender backpedaling.
He's extremely difficult to deal with. Once Ahui gets into his sprint and stride, see here, got to do better, just gets his pocket picked. Ahui had only one thought in his mind, drive into the box, get the shot off, doesn't quite get hold of it.
It's that mix of power and pace that's so hard to stop. He can take you on physically, he can also burn off the cover as well. Here's Ahui trying to go beyond Fitzgerald. That's a very good ball, and it's taken. Hit of a handball for Warren Davis. Referee happy for play to continue. He's brought Mahon out into a wide area. And Mahon just sticks a toe in and wins the ball back for Sligo Rovers. Cleared by Fitzgerald. And coming onto it now is Malley. Laid off by Hakiki. A lovely bit of skill from Elding. He's a joy to watch, Owen Elding, and he's really taking the game to Drogheda United. Not quite on the same page on that occasion though as Cian Kavanagh.
You can see what Elding was trying, wanted Kavanagh in behind, done really well to keep the ball. Just a little bit of skill from Elding, gets away from Brennan, lovely stuff.
One back by Reynolds, and he's got Doyle-Hayes alongside him. Back by Hakiki. And now McElroy. Cross for Hutchinson, the 25-year-old from Birmingham. Oh, lovely body shape from Hakiki, and then a strong challenge on him by Farrell. Mahon has it for Sligo though. And Elding has just moved into a more central area in these last couple of minutes. Reynolds, long ball forward towards Elding. Here's Brennan, and he sends it wide to Kane.
You see, when Sligo decide to go really direct like that through the middle of the pitch, don't seem like they're going to get much reward out of it.
Ahui, ball is a good one, taken in his instep by Davis. Back out to Ahui, and now Kane. Forced away from the Rovers' goal. Missed completely by Farrell. And it's one back for Sligo Rovers, but Kavanagh brought down by Farrell. Hakiki for Elding. This has not been a happy hunting ground for Drogheda United. They haven't won on any of their last 8 visits. That may well have been in the back of their minds as they made the trip west. They really are going to be a factor in the title race this season. They're top of the league, a third of the way through the campaign. They'll have to go anywhere and everywhere and pick up points. They're going the right way about it here tonight, for the moment at least, as Mahon sends it across to Reynolds. Reynolds is 18 years of age, and this is just the 12th game he's played for the first team here at Sligo. Here's Mahon again. Doyle-Hayes. Reynolds once more. Combined age of 35 when Reynolds and Elding combined down that right-hand side. Hakiki. That's a clever ball in behind Ahui, and the ball played across goal was well blocked by the Drogheda United right back. Will Fitzgerald will finish, should have done better there.
Yeah, again, Ahui recovers really well. Once the ball goes over his head, you start to worry for him. Fitzgerald tries to whip it in. Ahui, it's a decent block on it, diverts it. Dennison in the drop of the goal.
He's looked sharp, Ahui, for a player who hasn't started a game yet this season. Drogheda United have another player down. I think it's Darragh Markey. Remember, they've already lost their centre midfielder Paul Doyle to what looked like a hamstring injury. And the man who started the night is captain Darragh Markey, and he's looking in considerable discomfort in the middle of the field here as the Sligo Rovers fans, young and old, look on. A fairly mild, warm evening, so both sets of players will take the opportunity to take some fluids on. Markey's sitting up now.
Drogheda won't want to lose. Darragh Markey is a wonderful little footballer. So neat and tidy. Manipulate the ball either way. Starting to pop up with a few goals this season as well. Really enjoy watching him.
Yeah, he's been a fixture for Drogheda United for quite some time now. 6 seasons at St. Pat's. He played over 100 games for them. This is the 157th time he's lined out for United, and he's the man who knits it all together, isn't he, at the top of that midfield diamond. But he seems to be moving reasonably freely, so they'll be certainly hoping they're not forced into a second change so early in the game.
Yeah, when you look at that midfield three in there for Drogheda now, Ryan Brennan, Shane Farrell, Darragh Markey. Really shouldn't be a surprise that they're doing that well. The spine of that Drogheda team is really good.
Reynolds. From McElroy. And now Reynolds. I think I got my maths wrong earlier. Did I say 35? 37 between the two lads. Of course, McElroy at the age of just 17 is one of those 3 teenagers in this starting 11. Another sign of how early and how often these really young players are breaking into the first teams across the League of Ireland Premier Division these days. Farrell almost had to battle Brennan for it, and he's called a little late by Kavanagh.
It's great to see so much young talent around the League of Ireland at the minute. Cathal O'Sullivan down at Cork, Mason Melia, Michael Noonan at Rovers. An awful lot of young talent, whet the appetite.
So they leave this free kick to Luke Dennison, the California-born goalkeeper. He's kept a clean sheet in 6 of his 12 league games this season. And you'll know if he keeps a 7th, United will be heading east with another 3 Premier Division points. Leaves it for Farrell at the end, and again just that long ball into the area. This time Elding gets his head to it, not Elding rather, McElroy gets his head on it.
It's a strange defensive setup from Sligo. Quinn and Keeley had pulled off. Reynolds, the right back for Sligo, just stayed there. He's got to get John Mahon over with him, one of the bigger boys, to go and contest the forced contact.
Another Kane long throw. Ball comes back towards Davis, and it comes all the way back out to Elicha Ahui. Hooks it down that left hand side. The header won by Bolger. And now Keeley. And Bolger still hanging around the edge of the area. Markey can't hold on to it. Kavanagh trying to hold things up, and he's managed to win a free kick just to relieve that pressure on Rovers.
I love the Drogheda game plan. They really do not overcomplicate it. Once they got the big boys into the box, if it gets cleared, put it back in. Don't mess around with it. While the big targets are up there, keep turning that screw. Ask questions of the Sligo defence.
Man out for Hutchinson. Man across to Reynolds. And now Doyle-Hayes from Mahon.
Those little details there, Dave. John Matton's fizzing the ball knee height out to Hutchinson at left back. Got to move the ball quickly along the ground.
Hakiki. Oh, neat turn from him. He's got options to his left. Turns down the option of giving the ball to Hutchinson, who does eventually collect it for Sligo Rovers, and now he's lost it. And there could be a break on for Drogheda United here, and it's a break that's brought to an unceremonious conclusion, and that is unsurprisingly a yellow card, and I think it's gone to Jake Doyle-Hayes.
I think we could all see that one developing. As soon as Warren Davis picks up the ball, alarm bells would have been ringing in the Sligo heads. Doyle-Hayes comes over, it's a little bump, enough to knock him out of his stride.
And here come Drogheda United now. Davis couldn't get the ball across. He picked up a really good position and a very clever run in behind. It's another Drogheda United corner kick, and these set-piece opportunities continue to be worked by Drogheda United, whether they be free kicks, long throws or corner kicks. And again, the hulking figures of Keeley and Bolger and Andrew Quinn and Thomas Ahui hanging around that penalty spot. In it comes from Farrell. Man gets his head to it. Farrell will collect the second ball, heading towards the final 5 minutes of this first half. Headed on by Bolger. Ahui trying to get there. Flag was up anyway, as it was collected by Sargeant. A quick distribution from the goalkeeper. It's an important tackle from Brennan, who had to get there. Hakiki had brought in a very good first touch. Brennan onto it again, sent it down that right hand side. Ahui trying to hold it up for United. Hakiki winning another tackle. Sligo Rovers looking to finish this first half strongly. Again, it's cleared by Brennan, looking for Ahui.
Just losing those 50-50 fighting balls in and around the middle of the pitch. Sligo just seem to be second best. Whenever Drogheda win the 50-50 balls, there's no sideways or backwards passing. Just help it over the top, get Ahui on his bike, get Davis close to him. At the minute, seems a better game plan.
By Ahui, not a foul on Davis.
Just needs to be careful, Doyle-Hayes. It's his second foul, just picked up a yellow card 2 minutes ago.
He's already served a 3-game ban for a red card against Derry City earlier in the season.
You see Keeley, Quinn, Bolger all hanging out the back here. Yet Mahon is right in the middle of it.
Launched by Farrell. How often have we said that in this first half? And it was one in the air by Quinn. Away by Hutchinson. Farrell battling forward with Will Fitzgerald. Back in again towards the head of Mahon, who wins it powerfully. Brennan. Across it goes to Markey. Ahui just got caught in his legs. Forward by Farrell. Ahui again. Another one won by Mahon. Davis quickly onto it, and he's played it into a good area. Ahui leaves it for Markey. Needs an option, sees one at the far post, and coming onto it is Kane! Well, it was a really good pick and a spot from Darragh Markey. He knew where the space was, spotted the run of Conor Kane, and he couldn't keep it down.
It's excellent from Darragh Markey, brilliant vision. You see him here, pick the head up, he sees Kane at the back post. The one criticism I'd have of Markey is, can you get it to Kane on the full? Once it bounces in front of him, makes it a very difficult finish for the left back. You see, can't quite get his knee over it. Again, good play from Drogheda.
Just a couple of goals in over 200 games for Drogheda United for Conor Kane, although one of those did come against Sligo Rovers. Made off by Kavanagh. And Malley looks to his left and finds Reece Hutchinson. Is there another opportunity for Sligo before the break? Here is Fitzgerald. Mahon switches it for Reynolds. He's got Hakiki ahead of him, but he sold him short. Reynolds goes back and wins it immediately off Kane. We'll have at least 3 additional minutes at the end of this first half. Off in hot pursuit again is Thomas Alua, back out by McElroy and won by Markey for Drogheda United. And there's McElroy again. A little pocket of space inside now for Malley. Coming onto it is Hutchinson. Rovers trying to stretch the play here. The cross is half blocked and it's cleared by Farrell. Back in by Hutchinson again. Collected by Conor Malley. Stopped by Farrell. He's breaking up a lot of these Sligo Rovers attacks. Forward by Brennan and out by Mahon.
Strange from Malley. Just stopped the ball. Seemed surprised that Drogheda were actually going to press him. Got to move the ball an awful lot quicker than that in the opposition final third. See Sligo getting it out wide, putting some half decent balls into the box. The 3 centre halves for Drogheda. It's meat and drink for those 3.
It's Conor Kane on one side, and down the right hand side the long throws coming in from Elicha Ahui. I think this is the first one he's delivered, and the end goes short for Farrell. Markey now. Ahui, I think we know what's coming from Farrell here. Straight in over the top, and out comes Sargeant. That's commanding goalkeeping, just what his central defenders would have been looking for.
It's exactly what you want. Sligo centre half, the ball coming over your head. Goalkeeper comes out, takes it cleanly. Great feet from Elding.
Superb from Elding again. Such a positive in this first half. And he's not just displaying these little pieces of skill and trickery, Keith, for skill's sake. They all serve a purpose. He's keeping the ball for his team. He's eluding those defenders. It's Reynolds looks to combine with Hakiki here. Elding, Hakiki, and Elding once more. Trying to find Hutchinson. That's a perfectly measured ball. Trying to force Hutchinson onto his right foot and double up on him as well, and taking it away is Warren Davis. Hutchinson really needed a support option there alongside him. Ahui sends one along towards Alua. And McElroy, who probably came off second best in the first maybe 15-20 minutes of that battle that he's having, but he's warmed to it as the half has gone on.
Yeah, he's grown in.
Great ball. Oh, that's an almost perfect ball from Hakiki. Inches away from releasing Elding.
It's the first time I can remember a Sligo centre midfielder picking up the ball and trying to play a nice ball through the towards. Bolger, nice and alive.
Mahon feeds Hutchinson. Halfway through these additional 3 minutes. Inside to Malley. Now Mahon again. He's got Reynolds in a lot of space on the right hand side, and that's where he opts to go. Doyle-Hayes. Inside to Malley. Opens up a little for Malley. Here comes Reynolds. Elding. It was a difficult ball he was trying to attempt in the direction of Kavanagh.
Yeah, I think even if he gets that one through to Kavanagh, he's been really well shepherded by the centre halves that Drogheda. I'm sure it would have popped into Elding's mind to just have a little strike. Decided not.
Watched by McElroy. Won by Markey, one of the smallest men in the field. The sun has dipped in behind one of the floodlight pylons here at the showgrounds, and the temperature seems to have dropped by about 10 degrees in the process. Good ball inside by Will Fitzgerald, and it's been picked up now by Doyle-Hayes. Still a few seconds left for Sligo Rovers to make something happen here. Now Reynolds. He's got Elding closest to him. Elding looking for a 1-2 with Hakiki, gets it, but it's stopped by Farrell, and there is the half-time whistle. A half in which both sides have had their moments, but the physicality and the ability to maintain pressure of Drogheda United has led to the breakthrough. A long ball in by Farrell, knocked down by Andrew Quinn into the path of Conor Keeley, and that's where the opening goal has come from, and that's all that separates these teams at half-time at the showgrounds. It is Sligo Rovers 0, Drogheda United 1. We'll have analysis next.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Protect all those places where you can truly be yourself with AXA car insurance. And with accident forgiveness as standard, you can be certain we're the right choice to look after your me place. Get a car quote today at axa.ie.
Once you quit smoking, you realise it's not the friend you thought it was. Quit for 28 days and start taking back control. Find out how at quit.ie.
Full fibre broadband from just €35 a month for 12 months with 99.9% reliability. Now that's smooth. Now available nationwide. Virgin Media. It's playtime.
Electricity man.
Some people think Liam is a gas man.
But I'm not. Electricity. Yes, we're called Flow Gas, but we do electricity too. The gas part about it is that the gas part of Flow Gas is only part of it.
What the gas man?
He says the gas part is only part of it.
Well, that's gas.
No, it's electricity. Huh? Take it.
Go on. When you think electricity, think Flow Gas. Switch now at flowgas.ie.
Get moving with new, lower fixed mortgage rates from PTSB. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, our dedicated team can help you find a rate that's right for you. And with our online portal to track every stage of your application, it all comes together for a mortgage experience that's altogether more human. PTSB. Apply online today.
Welcome to the island of Eriskay. Population 140. Is everyone behind the team? 10% of us are in the team. And if you want to make the most of this pitch, well, that can be difficult. But thanks to Guinness Zero, if you want to make the most of your evening, that's always easy.
The Harvey Norman Big Sale is now on. Shop big deals across sofas, dining furniture and homewares. Save up to €500 on luxurious Italian leather sofas. Save up to €400 across fabric corner sofas. Dine in style with dining tables starting from $449 and 5-piece dining sets from as little as $375. And complete any room with one of our stylish rugs starting from only €45 with up to 36 months interest-free finance terms available. Why wait? The Harvey Norman Big Sale, now on.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
That's been the story of that first half. Conor Keeley header after 28 minutes, his fourth goal of the season. That aerial threat from Drogheda, from the men at the back, and it means that they are 1-0 up against Sligo at half-time, the league leaders. Here are the half-time stats then. Not too much to enjoy from Sligo Rovers' point of view. Young Owen Elding keeping the fire going for them up front, but it's been all about the threat from Drogheda, who have looked like league leaders, you have to say, in that first half performance. Let's look at the goal, Conan. We'll see the chances. Vinny's going to look at the Drogheda chances. It had been coming in terms of how they put those balls into the Sligo box, and everyone that went in caused so many problems from a Sligo point of view. Yeah, we've talked about it over the weeks when we've watched Drogheda. In terms of the three centre halves, they go up, they stay up, even for second phases, for third phases. And we see here, Shane Farrell puts a ball, it's a training ground ball, right to the back post. Andrew Quinn gets above everybody. Nobody tracks the run of the tallest player on the pitch, Conor Keeley, and it's an easy finish. Conor Reynolds, he just runs off in there, number 46 in your picture, and Conor Keeley has an easy finish from 6 yards out. You can't leave a player like of his ability to be free in a 6-yard box. He scores it with his feet. We saw it up in the Brandywell a couple of weeks ago, where he scored 2 unbelievable goals in the box from similar positions. And Drogheda deservedly in front. If you look at the threats they've had, there's been 2 teams. There's been that team, Vinny, and then there's the joy that Thomas Alua has had down that left-hand side against Reynolds and McElroy inside him. Yeah, there's a little bit fear of being critical of the young lads, but they're playing in the first team, and Sligo are fighting for their lives, and there's just got to be a little bit more aggression here. Yes, Alua is strong, and he can do that to seasoned pros, don't get me wrong. John Mann here with a good tackle. It's got to be a little bit better, but this was building. Andrew Quinn gets the freedom there of the back post. If you've got to switch onto that, he got that free header for the goal. Again, this is a bit of aggression, it's a little bit of want, and it's Bolger heading over the bar, so they're big opportunities. And we touched on Sligo's defending. Again here, it's a little bit 6s and 7s. Look, this is you don't get away with that at this level. Alua dispossesses Reynolds, he's driving at people. Ultimately the shot's not great in the end, but it's building momentum, and like this one is the one for me. You can't lose that tackle. You can't lose that at home. This is big boy football. It allows Drogheda in. Look, I think ultimately Conor Kane's a little bit unlucky. Maybe that Davis could have given a bit of better flight at ball. Conor maybe will feel he could at least hit the target. But that last one for me is criminal. Is it organisational, Vinny, or are they being bullied, Sligo, by Drogheda? I think there's a mixture. I think they're caught in halfway between something and nothing in terms of, we've seen some decent phases of play for them, but when you compare that, and we touched on it, and I don't want to repeat myself too much, but when you touch what Drogheda do, it's clinical. It's getting it forward, there's a bit of aggression, it's old school in one sense, and 3 centre halves going up, but you still have to want to win the first header. They've won the first header, the second header for a goal ultimately. So it's them little moments that Sligo, yes, they've got young players, but you've got to win those little battles. You flagged young Owen Elding before the match, Conor, so I'll give you the pleasure of talking about him, and he has been the bright spot from a Sligo point of view, hasn't he? He's been the bright spot for the first 20-25 minutes, and he's gone out of the game because Drogheda have dominated the play. But just in here, it's a great ball into the box. It's got cleared out, and his first touch is excellent, but he lets it come down on a half volley, and on a pitch like the Showgrounds at the moment, he can't. He has to hit that first time on the volley. Conor Kane lets Elding get by him here, and Bolger's afraid of his life. He backs off. Elding just shows his pace on the outside on his left foot. Watch out for Will Fitzgerald. There's a reason why he's only got 5 goals in 190 games, and it's because he's not in at the back post, slotting that in to make it 1-1. And this is the final chance again, 22nd minute. This is a third chance. Lovely little intricate play here, and he just gets it on the half turn from Fitzgerald, gets it inside. He swings at it, it's just wide, but he has been the bright spark in the attacking threat. What does he do? Well, first of all, this man scored over 100 goals, and 99 of them was probably from 2 yards. So Will Fitzgerald could do it listening to him. You know, look, he's got to find a balance. I don't know how he manages. It's difficult to know. Young players, you've got to be balanced in terms of how you give them a bit of a voice. And again, is it okay to say you've got to throw the teacup around sometimes in dressing room and say you've got to go and win your headers, you've got to go and without sounding like Roy Keane, you've got to go and smash somebody, but you've got to make this a battle, and they're losing the battle, and that's why they're at the bottom of the league. Drogheda are winning the battle, and that means that they are still sitting top of the league as things stand at the moment. We'll recap the half-time scores elsewhere. Sligo bottom, of course. Second half from the Showgrounds is coming up next.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
FBD, doesn't stand for fire-breathing dash hunt.
Farmers borealis discovery or fierce barn damage. FBD stands for support. We support farmers across Ireland in our 34 branches nationwide. FBD Insurance. Support. It's what we do.
From the world's finest courses to your retreat.
Welcome to the island of Eriskay. Population 140. Is everyone behind the team? 10% of us are in the team. And if you want to make the most of this pitch, well, that can be difficult. But thanks to Guinness Zero, if you want to make the most of your evening, that's always easy.
Need broadband?
You're grand.
This works off 5G. It doesn't need cables.
You just plug it in and you're good to go.
Some speed.
What if we threw in a landline? It's wireless.
There is another way to broadband. 3 5G home broadband from €20 a month for up to 12 months.
Well, you're in the big leagues now.
How was your vacations there?
Oh, I needed one.
With your 10% loyalty program discount, that's €250 for the night.
Not bad.
€185 for the night.
Hold up. How?
It's easy when you know where to look.
Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites so you can land a great deal.
Trivago is my secret tactic.
Hotel? Trivago.
I don't care what the weatherman says when the weatherman says it's raining. You'll never hear me complaining. I'm certain
this planet, it's what every business has in common, and it needs every one of us to become more sustainable. AIB can help with practical knowledge and support from our Green Living Hub. AIB, for the life you're after.
At the Irish Independent, we don't just cover sport. We tell the stories written all over Ireland. After all, each struggle, triumph, high and low, leaves a mark that lasts. We live and breathe the stories, written all over Ireland. Irish Independent.
The fitness, the clock will tell 11. One hope, one quest.
Tomorrow starts tonight. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Lots of sport on Virgin Media Television over the next couple of days. In athletics, Rishida Adaleke is set to compete in the 200 metres in the Diamond League in Shanghai. That's on tomorrow afternoon on Virgin Media 2. Big weekend of horse racing then gets underway. The first big flat classic of the season, the Newmarket 2000 Guineas. Virgin Media 1 from 1:30, and then a Kentucky Derby takes centre stage tomorrow night for the 1000 Guineas on Sunday afternoon. And another type of horsepower as well on offer tomorrow and Sunday. That's the Formula E Championship, continues in Monaco with rounds 6 and 7 on Virgin Media 3 over the weekend. Let's get back to the football. Checking on that big game happening at Richmond Park, second against thirds, and it is St Pat's in second that lead the way against Galway United, and comfortably on the scoreboard at the moment. Goals from Cian Levy and this one from Zach El Bouzedi with the aid of a nice deflection from a Pat's point of view off of Rob Slevin. So it is 2-0 to Stephen Kenny's side at the break. And here are the halftime scores elsewhere around the league. Waterford have just hit the front at Bohemians. Remember, Bohemians with 3 wins on the trot coming into this weekend. James Olajinka with a goal in first half injury time. Shamrock Rovers lead away to Cork City. Rory Gaffney on the score sheet there. Derry City 2, Shelburne 0 at the Ryan McBride Brandy Well. And as you can see, Drogheda leading away to Sligo in our live game, and Pat's leading Galway United there. Right, we're about to head back to the showgrounds. Sligo do have options though, Conan, on the bench. Do they use them? And if so, sooner rather than later?
Yeah, well, I just think they need to be better in transition. They're so slow on the ball, especially those centre midfield areas. Keith Tracy mentioned in commentary, they're putting their foot on the ball. When you win the ball back, myself and Vinny were saying it, you want to drive at the Drogheda back line. They haven't done that, and that's why Drogheda are able to regroup. So unless they're going to bring on Wilson Wawaru, pace and power, as well as Francilli Lomboto with 3 goals this season, I don't know, Drogheda just seemed so comfortable in that first half.
You have been, I mean, they're league leaders, it's kind of goes without saying they're a good side, but you have been particularly impressed with them this evening, Drogheda.
Yeah, absolutely. They've just done the basics really, really well, and like they have a different challenge now, but the 3 centre halves, by and large, have stood up to anything that's being thrown at them. But Lomboto coming on is a different threat, but you'd fancy Drogheda 3 centre halves. They
have made that change, Lomboto on. So let's get back over to Dave and Keith for the second half of the showgrounds.
Yes, welcome back. So a little bit of housekeeping to get us up and running for the second half. Francilli Lomboto has come in for Sligo Rovers, and his first contribution to the game is to absolutely barge through the middle of James Bolger. So we'll keep an eye on him and exactly how that changes the way Sligo Rovers have been set up, Keith. It does look like they're going to go with an out-and-out front 2. Kavanagh now joined by Lomboto.
Yeah, Kavanagh did seem very isolated at times up there. Referenced once or twice, they went from back to front. It's just the 3 centre halves for Drogheda, just eating it up. Big Lomboto now next to Kavanagh.
Drogheda United leading courtesy of that Keeley goal in the first half. The away side in this fixture haven't won any of the last 13 meetings. So that's one trend United are looking to end tonight, as it's helped on his way by Fitzgerald, and he gets on the next ball as well. Drogheda United looking to keep some early pressure up here. Mahon, and the ball eventually squirts all the way through to Sam Sargeant. He did not want to touch it with his hands. I would think the referee would have forgiven him if he'd picked that one up. Kane's ball inside is blocked away by Reynolds. Here's Farrell, and he just waited for Reynolds to arrive, which he duly did.
Brilliant. Shane Farrell using all his experience there. Knows he doesn't want the pass backwards. Sligo got 2 very quick, nimble strikers up there. Just waits for the contact. Wins another dangerous set piece for his team.
Well, here we go. Keeley, Bolger, Quinn, Ahui all there. It almost found Ahui, and it's heading towards Sargeant, and he does well to gander that off the head of Conor Reynolds. And looking to get Sligo Rovers on the move quickly here. Lomboto trying to put some pressure on Ahui. Well, he's giving them an extra element of physicality up front that was probably lacking in that first half.
You need to up the tempo. Go from back to front a lot quicker.
A little bit of space for Malley, who's going to hit one here. Caught hold of it, but Luke Dennison made the save look pretty easy.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad strike from Malley. Just always going straight down the throat to Dennison.
Yet to score this season, Malley. Got 3 goals last term. That was moving as well, but Dennison had his feet set and got down early. Comfortable save in the end. Sun has dipped in behind the clouds here on a beautiful evening in Sligo City. Floodlights on. Perfect conditions for football as Sligo Rovers look to try and dig themselves out of this hole they found themselves in at the foot of the Premier Division table. Here is Malley. He's got options to his left, and eventually he finds Hutchinson. Hutchinson targeting Lomboto, who's running behind Quinn here. Back out it goes to Hutchinson. They've only got Kavanagh in the penalty area. We'll need to commit more bodies forward, Sligo Rovers, as this second half progresses. And Lomboto has the ball taken away from him by Thomas Ahui, and he will just go straight at the heart of this Sligo Rovers defence. Ball inside was a bit too difficult to handle for Markey, and then it's put out of over the sideline by Lomboto.
Poor layoff from Lomboto. You see straight away what he does provide to the Sligo team. Hutchinson not looking for visual confirmation, just getting the ball out of his feet, flicking it in behind. do look a little bit more dangerous early doors of this second half.
He's a powerful player, Lomboto, man who was from Galway City and came through the academy at Galway United before heading up the West Coast after 4 seasons at Terryland Park. This is his first campaign as Sligo Rovers. He's only started once in the league this season, but he's picked up 3 goals in his last 5 games, and I guess his manager John Russell is hoping he's going to deliver something similar here tonight, but they've got some defending to do first. The throw in from Ahui comes straight back to him. Right-footed cross. And Brennan with the header. And they come back out now to Farrell. Farrell just curls one back into the penalty area. And it's won well again. And it's all about that second ball, because Drogheda United tend to win the first one in the air. Ahui just got stood on as that ball bounced around the edge of the D, and it's tidied up by Fitzgerald. Ahui is hopping mad, literally and figuratively, because he's in a lot of discomfort after getting stood on a moment ago.
I think that might be a little bit more serious, Dave. I think he might have just jarred his knee. Didn't look right when he landed from the jump. Hopefully it is just a contact one. He is holding that knee.
He just seemed to be able to bend it easily enough, but he's obviously in some pain. Another worry, injury worry for Drogheda United and Kevin Doherty. Well, they haven't had an awful lot to shout about at home this season, the Sligo Rovers supporters. They won their opening game against Shamrock Rovers. They picked up a single point in the 4 games since. 5 games since, in fact. And if they are going to somehow drag themselves off the foot of the table, starting with their performances and results at home, Keith, would be certainly something they can and must improve.
Home form is imperative. Whether you're looking to win the league or stay in the league, you've got to make it a fortress. They've just been very reactive. This opening 50 minutes from East Sligo, reacting to what's happening rather than setting their own tempo, dictating play.
Well, it does look like Elicha Ahui is going to be able to continue. And much like the first half, a bit stop-start opening to the second period as well. The game did settle down as McElroy fires that diagonal ball towards the head of Will Fitzgerald. Farrell now. Fitzgerald stops him initially, and then Farrell gets the second opportunity to play one into the channel, away by Mahon. Farrell and Matty battling for it. It'll be out for a Sligo Rovers throw-in. Hakiki's layoff, forward by Hutchinson towards Lomboto. Hutchinson. Lomboto had made a run inside. Who went in for that challenge with McElroy, and I think he might have just got blown to the face as McElroy was jumping for that one. Certainly no intent on McElroy's behalf. He only had eyes for the ball.
It's one you'd expect the Lintott to go for as soon as McElroy lets the ball bounce. You always expect the centre forward to have a go. Does. There's a little coming together.
Here he is. Lintott just jumping into McElroy, coming off second best. It's been a good battle between the two. His 10th league start of the season for Thomas Lintott. In what is his first season at Drogheda United after a pretty nomadic existence over the last 4 years or so. Here's Will Fitzgerald, ball to the edge of the area, covered well by Brennan. And a chance again for Lintott.
I think Mahon was lucky to get away with that one. And Lintott just played the ball past him. Looked like he was taken out. The referee thought otherwise.
Taking it forward is Reynolds. Elding been on the fringes of things in the second half until now. And now Doyle-Hayes from Malley. Elding again. Reynolds going backwards all the way to McElroy.
We've got the lion's share of the ball, Sligo. Only the one shot on target.
Lovely bit of skill from Reynolds. He left Davis in his wake, but couldn't pick out the pass. It's been a problem for Sligo Rovers tonight, that final ball. They looked to switch the play perhaps here. Hutchinson was in a lot of space, but they went straight down the middle. He was headed clear by Keeley. Malley. Now Hutchinson is involved. And he's got Will Fitzgerald alongside him. Stopped by Ahui. It's like a Rovers corner.
Good defending from Ahui. See Fitzgerald just wants to get it out of his feet and whip it in with his left foot. Again, the big right back hobbles back into position.
And the drums continue. Ahui continues to limp. Sligo getting on with things. It's broken for Conor Kane, and he sends one into a lot of space. One-on-one here. Warren Davis trying to take on Conor Reynolds, and Reynolds comes out on top.
It's very risky what Sligo are doing, leaving Davis 1v1. It's the second time it's developed. He's done really well.
Malley with a dangerous ball in, headed away by Conor Keeley, the goal scorer. Foul now for Brennan. And now Ahui. That's a really good run around the corner, but John Mahon just held his ground, and he forced Thomas Alua off the ball.
It's good from Mahon. It's the first time he's come out on top of those physical battles. I'm sure John Russell would have referenced it at half time.
Elding for Mahon. Now Hutchinson. Mahon. Hutchinson will go back to his goalkeeper, Sam Sargeant. He started the first 3 games this season, Sargeant, then lost his place to Conor Walsh. For 6 games, he's come back in for the last 3, and again tonight, the American goalkeeper. Malley now for Sligo Rovers. Hutchinson driving inside, trying to play beyond Lomboto, is picked up by Kavanagh, gets turned. Good tackle coming in the end from Bolger, and that'll be a goal kick. But they worked that one well, Sligo Rovers.
It's good play from Hutchinson coming in from left back. I'm sure he tries to feed it into Lomboto, he gets it into Kavanagh. Bolger does really well, just as it looked like Kavanagh was going to be able to roll him and get the strike in. Bolger stuck to his task, got the block in.
You know, Elicha, who he's still not right, Keith. Just had a picture here. He's not moving freely. He has just signalled inside to Conor Keeley that he's fine. Keeley just inquired as to how he was doing. I'm sure it's something that Drogheda United and Kevin Doherty and his staff are keeping a very close eye on.
I'd imagine Sligo are doing the same. Try and get the ball to Fitzgerald. See how fit who he is.
Forward by Kane. No chances taken by Elding. And he's limping heavily, Ahui. But he's also signalling to the bench that he doesn't want to come off. So that certainly is something Sligo Rovers need to be cognizant of. Surely they need to test the ability of Ahui to cover the ground over the next few minutes before Drogheda United are forced into a decision. Here's Elding now. Plays one over the top towards Ahui. Lomboto trying to put some pressure on him. Ahui did well, watched it well. Fitzgerald. Brennan came in over the top of him and did brilliantly to keep it on the field and give something for Thomas Alua to chase. Mahon scrapping for it with him. Hutchinson. Down towards Lomboto, one in the air by Quinn.
It's brilliant again. Big John Mahon up against Alua. He's starting to come out on top in that battle. Midfield battle. Brennan, full of tenacity, wins the ball and just flicks it in behind.
They're going to make another change shortly. Sligo Rovers. It looks like Harvey Lintott is coming in. It'll be for Conor Reynolds. Change on the right side of the Rovers defence. Markey, seen very little of the ball in this second half, trying to hold it up as Elicha, and that looks like an offside if it comes to pass. Still no offside flag raised. Certainly looked like Warren Davis was in an offside position, but McElroy brings it away for Sligo Rovers and lifts one over the top. Fitzgerald, first touch wasn't great, forced him a little wider, getting to that end line. Good ball across, and it's been headed away only as far as Hutchinson. Sligo Rovers looking to force the issue here. Fitzgerald for Hutchinson, digs one out to the far post, forced to backtrack is Elding, and an option at the edge of the area is Reynolds, and Markey had to cover the ground quickly, which he did. Collected again by Elding, another ball delivered, and it's hacked away by Brennan, and it is going to be a Rovers corner kick.
Dennison just couldn't quite keep that ball in play. It's much better from Sligo, much better thought process. You see Fitzgerald just wants to get the ball into the box. Once it comes in, the other centre halves get their head on it.
So Reynolds withdrawn as we see that second ball coming in from Fitzgerald. So Lintott comes in. He's an unused sub in the last couple of games, having been injured for 2 games as well. So this is his first appearance since the defeat at Bohemians on the 4th of April. Man who's on loan until June from Northampton Town. Corner kick comes in and it's flicked onto the front post by Malley, who gets it again. Little ball over the top, and it's clawed away by Dennison. Dennison has now gone down and he's sitting on his goal line. Finally back to his feet now. Sligo Rovers enjoying a little bit of a purple patch here, but still to really test the Drogheda United goalkeeper. Plenty more League of Ireland football coming your way in the days to come. We're back with you Monday, 5th of May, Virgin Media 2, as Derry City take on St Patrick's Athletic. Friday night next on Virgin Media 2, Shamrock Rovers against Drogheda United. Then it's Bohemians against the champions Shelbourne on May 16th. And then 3 days later, Shells on your screens again on Virgin Media 2 as they host Drogheda United. Will United still be in and around the top of the table by the time we get towards the end of May? It certainly will be tonight if they keep this going. Signs Sligo Rovers are starting to look a little more threatening. Lomboto certainly made a difference.
Yeah, Lomboto has made a difference. I'd like to see Sligo try to get Elding back into the game. This is the chance. It's a wonderful bit of skill from Malley. Just tries to hook it into a nice area. Almost found the goal himself.
Hutchinson, little ball around the corner for Malley, and out wide it goes to Fitzgerald, on to Hutchinson. Fitzgerald needs to offer himself in support here. Hutchinson does well, finds Fitzgerald again, and back it goes to Malley. He's playing a more prominent role now. Lost though to Farrell, who was strong in the tackle, and it's Brennan, and now Markey, and he's got that one wrong.
It's a real shame from Dara Markey. If he'd have managed to get that ball to Elicha, he'd Warren Davis up alongside. Would have been a 3v3. Conor Kane was on his bike from left back. Markey just misplaced it.
Markey. Half an hour left of the showgrounds. Just the one goal to show. Ball towards Elicha. Missed by Mahon. Elicha for Drogheda United. John Mahon has his head in his hands, and it's Thomas Elicha who doubles his side's lead. His second goal of the season, and having really come into the game in the last 10 minutes, Sligo Rovers are struggling now. Drogheda United lead 2-0.
It's a brilliant understanding from Drogheda where to play the ball, when not to. Elicha absolutely excellent. You see Warren Davis picks up the ball, he has a look into the box, you can see Elicha as one-on-one with John Mahon, puts the ball into a brilliant area. Mahon stretching, you see there, can't quite get to it, takes all the pace off it. Elicha, he's on it in a flash, he has the talent to hit the back of the net.
Well, Warren Davis has scored 5 in his last 8 games, but he turned creator there Really good ball in. It put Mahon in all sorts of trouble, and benefiting from the Sligo Rovers captain's inability to get to it was Thomas Ulua. And Sligo Rovers really are now faced with a mounting problem, because the more they come forward and the more bodies they commit to it trying to retrieve this situation, they'll become even more vulnerable in defence. Mahon again.
It's the story of the season so far from a Sligo point of view. They've been okay, they've shaded this game at times, they just haven't been able to keep trotting it out.
Good header won by Fitzgerald, but it's tucked away by Keeley. They have scored plenty of goals, Sligo Rovers, this season. In fact, that second Drogheda United goal means they've only got one more than Rovers over the course of the first 12.5 games of the season. You could see Mahon there disconsolate as he could only watch helplessly as Ulua took that one away. Took the chance pretty well. Lintott trying to get forward, and he's brought down Brennan. He's brought real solidity to that Drogheda United midfield.
Brennan has been excellent since he came into the middle of the pitch. An early injury. He's come in, as you said, Dave. He's made Drogheda very, very solid. He's coming out to the wing, dealing with the danger, wins the free kick. Drogheda will just kill the clock now, make it really difficult for Sligo to gather any momentum.
Drogheda United will be making a change of their own in a few moments, looking to bring Owen Lambe in for Ahui. They're also going to be introducing Douglas James Taylor. Here is Davis. Little ball over the top. Ahui with the header. And that may well be his final contribution to the second half, although the changes aren't quite yet ready to go.
I thought Ahui would have been better served just letting that one go past him. Darren Markey on the outside.
10 goals across the 5 games in the League of Ireland Premier Division so far tonight. 2 of them have come here. Of course, the guys of studio will be bringing you through all of those later in the evening. It's been a good game here, and Sligo Rovers have certainly made their contribution towards it, but they have to get the next goal. Elding. Haven't fed him anywhere near often enough in this second half. He was one of the best players on the pitch in the opening 45 minutes. Hutchinson's ball forward, looking for Lomboto, and it's nodded away by Quinn, and helped then by Ahui. Here's Malley. That double change for United, almost ready to go. Hutchinson for Lomboto, trying to turn Quinn. Back out it goes to Malley. Fitzgerald. Bit isolated down that left-hand side, and he's wriggled away from both Farrell and Ahui. He's really struggling, and the ball is put to the back post, and it's tucked away by Batman Elding. It was always going to be him that was going to make the breakthrough. He looked the most likely to threaten the Drogheda United defence, and it is the teenager that pops up the far post after a wonderful bit of endeavour from Will Fitzgerald, and Owen Elding tucks the ball away for his 6th goal of the season.
It's a brilliant play from Fitzgerald. Gets his dancing shoes on, leaves Farrell and Ahui for dead. The first time he's managed to do it in the game. And once he wriggles free, it's all about the quality of the ball into the box. Can he produce? He definitely does. Wonderful bit of skill there to get into the gap. Once he drives into the 18-yard box, brilliant ball. Owen Elding doing what all good wingers should, locking in the back stick, drags his team back into the game.
I just wonder how big an error of judgment is that from the Drogheda United backroom team, Keith, that man, Elicha Ahui, was left on the field, because he clearly wasn't right for the last 10 or 15 minutes, and we were discussing the possibility of Will Fitzgerald and Sligo Rovers exploiting that, and that's exactly where that goal has come from.
Yeah, it's exactly where it came from. Take nothing away from Fitzgerald. It was wonderful play. You do feel Ahui not quite 100% fit.
Well, this fixture continues to produce 24 goals in the last 6 meetings now, And you wouldn't be betting against any more over the next 20-odd minutes. Sligo Rovers may be in bold, but here they come now through Kane, Drogheda United. Fizzes one cross goal, too close to Sam Sargeant. But the mood and the atmosphere around the showgrounds has changed entirely, courtesy of that Elding goal. Now Fitzgerald trying to play one towards Lomboto, and he's beaten Quinn to it. And it's all Sligo Rovers now. Lomboto. Out wide it goes, and it's just rolled away from Stephen Mallon, who's just been introduced while the Drogheda United changes are taking place.
He's done the hard stuff, Lomboto. Does really well. It's just a layoff. See here, this is good centre forward play. Wins the physical battle. Lovely 1-2. Then it's the easy stuff. Little layoff out to the right wing. Over hits it. That momentum. It's just seeped out.
Away by Mahon. Taken on by Doyle-Hayes, trying to find Lomboto. It's cleared by Conor Keeley. Suddenly Drogheda United look a little more jittery in defence. Malley, good ball forward to Fitzgerald, and now Hutchinson. They're a little narrow down this left-hand side. Sligo Rovers. Fitzgerald trying to amend that. Little 1-2 and Hutchinson away to the end line. He goes again. Fitzgerald, another ball across. Fitzgerald combining with Elding again. That is the go-to combination. The result this time not quite the same as previously.
Again, it's brilliant play. Fitzgerald, a little 1-2, gets in behind. Lovely ball into the box again. Elding is on the move. You can tell by his reaction he should do an awful lot better. It's a difficult header for him. Man of his talent should be at least hitting the target.
Well, Kavanagh making way for Mallon has just allowed Elding to play a little more central alongside Lomboto, with Mallon now operating on that right hand side since coming in. Fourth game in succession he's come in off the bench. Lintott now has a problem on his hands here with Thomas Alua. That'll be a Drogheda United ball. Final 20 minutes. Well, we thought there'd be goals, Keith, and they haven't let us down.
There's been some brilliant individual performances. Goals. Some of the goals have been excellent. Drogheda point of view, they've just kept turning the screw. They've got their rewards. That's what will annoy John Russell, the Sligo manager.
Well, his Sligo defenders have got some work to do here. Farrell looking to whip this one to the far post. And Fitzgerald, continue to figure that he is, beats Brennan to it, and he launches one over the top for Lomboto to chase down, and keeping his composure was Luke Dennison.
You can hear it in the crowd now. Sligo play those balls forward to Lomboto. The crowd are interested.
He's on the ball again here. Lomboto gets away from Keeley. Oh, it's an own goal! It's gone in off James Bolger, and Sligo Rovers have turned this around. Again, Fitzgerald, central to everything they've done well in this last 10 minutes spell. Into Lomboto, who burnt off his marker, fizzed one across, and all Bolger could do was, unfortunately, from his point of view, roll it into his own nets. Sligo come back from 2 down and were level.
There you see Bolger, not happy at all. Again, it's coming down that left wing from a Sligo point of view. They get it into Lomboto again. He does really well. Fires it across that 6-yard box. Just hits Bolger and goes into the back of the net. Brilliant from Lomboto.
Well, there's life in the bit of red yet. Here's McElroy. Lays one down towards Lomboto. Headed into the air by Quinn. Farrell. Down towards Thomas Alua. I'm not quite sure that was his intended target. Alua cutting in from this right-hand side. Up against Hutchinson. Oh, he's curled it well. It's off the head of Mahon. Markey trying to make something of it. Back in by Kane. And it breaks out to Brennan. Leaning back, fires that well high and wide.
Worrying signs. Alua picked up the ball. Hutchinson did not want to go and engage. Managed to get it onto his left foot and get the strike off.
Well, here's Fitzgerald, who played it into Lomboto. How easily did he go by Conor Keeley?
It's just a quick throw. All of a sudden, Sligo injected a bit of tempo into their play. You see how unlucky Bolger is. Hits the inside of his left ankle. And then it flashes past Dennison. This is another worrying sign from a Drogheda point of view. Darren Markey on the ground.
Drogheda conceded just 9 goals all season before tonight. Now they've conceded 2 in 5 minutes. And that attention being received by Darren Markey just allowed the Sligo Rovers players to go over and get some more instruction from the manager.
It's really frustrating. You look at this Sligo team, the attacking areas, Lomboto, Elding, Fitzgerald, they have enough up there to win games of football, but they've got to become more solid, start keeping some clean sheets.
Well, Darren Markey, his race is run for tonight. So Luke Keeley is coming in. He has featured in every league game now, and in each of those games he's come in off the bench. Yet to start, but he may have a key role to play yet before the night is done. By Fitzgerald. Well, what sort of twists and turns have we got left in this game as we head into the final 15 minutes? A win would do a huge amount for the confidence of those around the showgrounds. Here is Lomboto, an early ball towards Elding, and it's been cleared by Dennison. Headed on by Douglas James Taylor, who's now on the field for Drogheda United. One in the air by Keeley, and it's been flicked on by Luke Heaney, who's in the middle of the field now for Drogheda United, and onto the ball again. Heaney's trying to slide one through, and it's well defended by McElroy with Thomas Alua lurking on his shoulder. Drogheda United being sparked into life again here after seeing that 2-goal lead evaporate. Farrell. Space on this far side, headed on by Owen Lambe. He did start that defeat to Galway United. Drogheda United really won't fancy coming out west back-to-back games and leaving with very little to show for their efforts. Hutchinson for Elding, and then launched over the top by Hutchinson. Lomboto had his jersey tugged by Conor Keeley, who's going to find himself in the referee's book.
He's asked some different questions. Lomboto, since he's come on, big physical presence, can spin into those channels, quick boy when he gets going. Drogheda the centre halves found it a lot more difficult the second 45.
So it'll be Will Fitzgerald who has been the real creative force down the left-hand side for Sligo Rovers tonight, with Elding causing all the problems on the other flank. Curled in by Fitzgerald. Headed away by Quinn, and then Bolger. Feed to it by Mahon, and that'll be a Drogheda United throw-in. Only managed to score 3 goals in 2 games this season, Sligo Rovers. If they could manage it for a third time, what a massive boost it would be. Just their 3rd win of the season. Alua, stopped by Mahon. Quickly onto it. He's looked lively since coming in. Is Douglas James Taylor, And he gets his head up, brilliant ball across. It's just beyond the reaches of Alua, who will retrieve it for United. Curls it in left-footed, away by Mahon. And now there might be a break on. Sligo Rovers, albeit they're outnumbered here. That might change as this attack develops. Elding needs to get his head up now. Hutchinson trying to get up alongside the attack. It's played forward to Will Fitzgerald. Hutchinson just allows it run under his studs. Malley switches the play. Cross it goes to Lintott. Lovely turn from Stephen Mallon, and that'll be a free kick for Sligo Rovers.
Kane just gets a little bit greedy, has a nibble, gives away the free kick, and now Sligo have a couple of their own big boys in there.
Yeah, it's Drogheda United that have looked menacing from set pieces throughout this game, and maybe Sligo Rovers will feel it's time to give them a dose of their own medicine. Lomboto certainly brings a little more height alongside the likes of Mahon and Malley. And it's curled in. It's a great delivery, and Mahon almost struck him on the back rather than the head. The flag has gone up though, regardless. But they're still coming, Sligo Rovers, and they certainly feel like there's something else in this game for them.
Been an awful lot more dangerous this second 45. I think they've just took a page out of the attacking book. Just decided to put more balls into the box. Got Fitzgerald flying down the left wing. Elding's come to life again. Lomboto is asking more and more questions. They're still leaky at the back though. Mallon.
Strong challenge from Bolger. Played forward by Kane towards Alua. The last 10 minutes of a pulsating game at the showgrounds. Sun has set over the city of Sligo, but we're not quite done here. And another really exciting evening of League of Ireland Premier Division football. We've been treated to some great games in recent weeks. It seems wherever the cameras go, the goals follow. Here's Fitzgerald. Malley switches the play. Lintott. He's got Mallon closest to him. He leaves it for him. Mallon gets it back again. Nice feet. He's got Hutchinson as an option on the left. Here is Reece Hutchinson trying to go beyond Lambe. Ball to the edge of the area. He wasn't anticipated by Mallon. And it's a rash clearance from Douglas James Taylor. Doyle-Hayes across to Lintott. Now Mallon. Oh, that's a poor ball from Mallon, and away goes Alua. He's all alone though. Shane Farrell trying to make an effort to get up alongside him. But it's a really strong challenge by Jake Doyle-Hayes. A little early ball over the top towards Elding. Elding gets to it first. Almost lost his balance. Hutchinson. And now Malley, encouraged to shoot, but he's closed down quickly by Farrell. And it was played around the back of Lintott. They're certainly not playing like a side whose position at the foot of the table has eroded their self-belief. There's plenty about them at the moment.
Yeah, they shouldn't. They'd obviously be low on confidence given their defensive statistics, but going forward, they've been absolutely fine. Times tonight they've looked really good. John Russell will be looking at his defence thinking if we can shore that up, there's every chance we can start climbing up the league. Conceding 2 goals, giving yourself a mountain to climb.
Here's Farrell. Sligo Rovers have come into the game. Farrell has really gone out of it. Fitzgerald again, delightful from him, and he's got Mallon in a lot of space outside him. 3 to aim it inside. If Mallon can get his head up, gets to the end line, and he plays it straight towards Luke Dennison.
He just seemed to run down a dead end. Initially really good to get to the byline. Once he gets there, can't quite dig across out. Straight into the hands of Dennison.
Here's Reece Hutchinson. Away by Quinn. Only as far as Malley in the centre circle, and Malley plays it down towards Lomboto. Beaten to it in the air by Quinn. Now Brennan knocked one down and hooked over the top by Farrell, who was hoping to look up and see Elicha chasing it down, and it's a solid connection from Sam Sargeant. Nice bit of control from Douglas James Taylor. Off goes Kane down that left hand side, up against fresh legs and Lintott. And did that go out? It did. Sligo Rovers looking to go unbeaten in 2 consecutive games for just the 2nd time all season. That's how poor their results have been. A point against Cork City and another one tonight won't do an awful lot for them in terms of their progression up the table, but it might just instill a little more confidence. That is, of course, if it stays right as it is right now at 2-2. Elding couldn't stretch far enough to keep that one alive. Taylor, and now inside to Brennan. Quinn. Long ball by Keeley. Elicha loses out to Mahon. It's been a great battle over the course of the night. Fitzgerald trying to hold off Quinn. He's a much bigger, more powerful man than he.
Brilliant defender from Quinn. All over Fitzgerald, didn't give him a chance to turn. The centre halves are going up. At least Bolger has.
Bolger pushed off it by Mahon. That's a free kick in a really good position.
It's brilliant from Kevin Doherty. So aggressive. 2-all away from home. 85th minute. Get the centre half up front. Still have plans of winning this game, Drogheda.
So it'll be Farrell standing over this one alongside Conor Kane. We might get to you for your SS Electricity player of the match, Keith, in a moment, perhaps after this attack. An attack that could potentially influence your decision. Curled in by Kane to the far post. And that will be another Drogheda United corner kick. So Shane Farrell will head across to take it. There's another change being made by Sligo Rovers. And they're going to be bringing in Matty Wolfe. And he's replacing Malley, who's had a really industrious and at times creative performance in the heart of the Sligo Rovers midfield. So Matty Wolfe coming in, another member of the English contingent in this Sligo Rovers squad, came on for the last minute against Cork City on Saturday. So he is on in time to help defend this corner kick to be delivered by Farrell. An in-swinger to that far post, and the header coming in, it's off the post and it's somehow hacked clear. It was an opportunity for Bolger to atone for the own goal. He might yet get another chance. And it's still not clear. Farrell with the shot blocked down. And Brennan tries to keep this United attack alive. Away by Mahon. All hands on deck for Sligo Rovers. Lomboto completes the clearance, and somehow Sligo Rovers survive.
Sligo being asked some really big questions in the dying minutes.
Another great header by Mahon. And across it goes towards Lintott, and he plays a ball down the channel for Mallon. He does end up getting his foot on the ball. It was a poor clearance for Brennan. It's 2-on-2 here, but coming across well. They do get it cleared through Lambe. Hooked over the top. Really good ball by Jake Doyle-Hayes to Will Fitzgerald towards Hutchinson, and it's cleared again. Now Wolfe finds Fitzgerald, wraps his left foot around that one. It'll break out to Mallon. Mallon waits for the outside run from Lintott, and all the way it goes towards Jake Doyle-Hayes. Hayes clips one hopefully towards the penalty area. Nodded away by Keeley, and down by Brennan. Kane's clearance is blocked down. Good feet from Brennan The whistle finally goes. Keith, it's over to you. Who stood out for you tonight?
Oh, there's been a couple. I did think Keeley was playing really well. Lomboto has made a big difference since he's come on. Fitzgerald has been really good. My SSE Electricity Player of the Match is Owen Elding. He's been really good. Constant threat from Sligo. For Sligo, I should say.
He's got his 5th goal in his last 8 games tonight. Owen Elding, he is the SSE Electricity Player of the Match, and it's richly deserved. He and Will Fitzgerald have provided such width and trickery for Sligo Rovers pretty much from kick-off tonight. As things stand, they're part of a team that don't have to share the spoils with their visitors unless there's some late drama. And if you're looking for drama, you might need some time for that to transpire, and we have got 6 additional minutes at least at the end of the 90.
It's definitely enough time for one of these teams to go and get the winner. Big coming together there between Elicha and Mahon. A big, tough, physical battle.
Long ball by Sargeant over the head of Fitzgerald, down by Wolfe. Lomboto, ball breaks out to Farrell, and it's set long by Keeley, and it's a really good first touch from Douglas James Taylor, and he looks to send Kane racing away down that left hand side. 90 minutes have expired. First of 6 additional minutes now.
There again, see the drop of the centre halves coming up into the box. They're not content with a point.
So it'll be Kane on that far side with the long throw. Fingernails been bit to the quick around the showgrounds. Won by Mahon. What a presence he's been in the air, and a tough night for Sligo Rovers. Elicha, his ball goes straight into the hands of Sargeant, who spots some space in front of Lomboto. And there's a real race on here. Lomboto was scrapping for it with Owen Lambe, who did ever so well.
Owen Lambe was excellent there. You can see Lomboto eating up the ground. Managed to get across and win the race.
And what a difference he's made, Lomboto, since coming in. Just 1 start in the league this season. He may well be changing his manager's impression of how he should be utilised in the games to come. Clever ball inside by Hutchinson. He found Wolfe, just couldn't get his feet set. Breaks out to John Mahon. Mahon inside to his junior partner in terms of that central defensive pairing in McElroy. Forward by Lintott, over the head of Mallon. Elding trying to make something of what was an average enough ball, and he has done.
Brilliant from Owen Elding. Second best the whole way. That ball is chipped in behind. You're expecting Bolger just to deal with it. Elding does superbly well.
Here it comes. Elding couldn't get his head to it. Wolfe did. Breaks out to Elicha, and he inadvertently tripped Hutchinson. And Elicha trying to make his case to the referee. There was nothing malicious involved, and the referee, I think, acknowledging that, but a free kick it is nonetheless. As we tick through injury time, this is a really good opportunity for Sligo Rovers.
It's really clever. Hutchinson lets the ball roll across his body, takes a step across, known it's going to be contact with Elicha. Big chance to win the game.
So Fitzgerald or Doyle-Hayes. There's an air of tension around the showgrounds. And if it's to be Doyle-Hayes, this will go right towards the crossbar of the goalkeeper, Luke Dennison, and that's a disappointing outcome if you're of a Sligo Rovers persuasion.
Can't believe Doyle-Hayes takes the strike on there. It's going to have to be something extremely special. Beat Dennison. Much better served. putting that into the back stick area.
Away by McElroy, not a great clearance, collected by Brennan. Across it goes to Lambe. Lambe battling with Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald's taken it off him. Off goes Wolfe. There was a foul on Fitzgerald by Lambe after losing possession, and I think Lambe is going to end up in the referee's notebook here. The other American player in this Drogheda United squad, along with their also California-born goalkeeper Luke Dennison. Here's the Rovers goalkeeper now, Sam Sargeant. Route 1 here, down on top of Lomboto. He was hoping someone was running around the back of him, but that was not the case.
A little bit too straight, got to create a little bit more of an angle. See Lomboto, he was spinning off it, hoping somebody else would win the force contact.
As things stand in the Premier Division table, we're going to have 3 points separating the top 6. It's getting ever tighter week on week. Sligo Rovers with just one defeat in the last 4 games now, including tonight. If they get something from this, they'll have picked up 6 points from the last 12 on offer, and maybe signs that they're coming to life as well. Just as a potential title winner is not presenting itself, an obvious relegation candidate not really the case either. Here's Fitzgerald, left-footed shot from Fitzgerald. Well, for a moment everyone at the showgrounds held their breath.
Oh, what a strike from Fitzgerald. I was looking at Dennison, the goal. He was routed. It's a brilliant strike, cuts across it, gets it moving from right to left. That's not far wide at all. This would be a brilliant angle.
Well, Dennison tried to look calm and collected. I think he was more worried than he appeared to be as that ball soared towards his top corner. Won by Mallon. Half cleared by Bolger. Away by Brennan. Time almost elapsed. Lomboto beat to the air by Quinn. Is there time for one more opportunity? Ahui trying to give McElroy a problem, dealt with by Mahon, and there is the full-time whistle. Well, Drogheda United look comfortable, they look physically superior and a side in total control of this game. But the introduction of Lomboto certainly changed things. The trickery and the brilliance of Fitzgerald and McElroy at the back was brilliant as well, but the trickery of Fitzgerald and Owen Elding managed to drag Sligo Rovers back into this game. And it is a richly deserved point from a side who have defied their league position in recent weeks to show that there's life in them yet, and that maybe they're starting to find their feet this season. Not a bad result at all against the side that topped the table coming into tonight's round of fixtures. It has finished here at the showgrounds, Keith. Sligo Rovers 2, Drogheda United 2.
A really good game. I think Drogheda, much the better team in the first half. Sligo, I imagine, got an absolute earful from John Russell. Some of the basic mistakes and lack of tempo in their play. Since Lomboto come on, Fitzgerald, Elding, all made a big difference. I think a draw was probably the right result in the end.
So certainly something for Sligo Rovers to build on as they look ahead to their fixtures to come. Next up for them, it is a visit to Shamrock Rovers on Monday nights, and then Bohemians visit the showgrounds on Saturday. So that man will be feeling a lot happier about things, John Russell. Drogheda United have Cork City at home on Monday, and then they visit Shamrock Rovers on Friday evening. Well, let's get some reaction at the end of a really interesting game here at the showgrounds. One of the youngest players in the field, looks like one of the most promising players in the league. He got a goal tonight and he's walked away with the Player of the Match award. Here is Owen Elding, who's standing by with Will.
Thanks, Dave. We will be going to Owen Elding very shortly. Dramatic conclusion at the showgrounds, John Russell's men. What a second half. Rovers returned for Sligo, earning them a precious point. Goals from Owen Elding and an own goal from Drogheda's James Bolger. Analysis from Conan and Vinny, and the reaction of both camps after the break.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Full fibre broadband from just €35 a month for 12 months with 99.9% reliability. Now that's smooth. Now available nationwide. Virgin Media. It's playtime.
So she's back again with the rectangle, and then she looks at the rectangle, and then she holds the rectangle up to me, and then she looks at the rectangle and does this again and again.
We all do the same things with our phones, like taking photos of our pets. So get the same big network coverage, but with the great value and service of Tesco.
Ted, not again.
At 123.ie, we have one of the best car insurance policies with more benefits included as standard. So, you can forget about us and remember the more important things. 123.ie. Give better a try.
Rockshore, official beer of the League of Ireland.
Hey, Harry.
Hello, mate.
What are your tips for the big game?
I think it's going to be an absolute belter. Your best bet is to head over to Bet Victor and have a few quid on the lad up top. He's a good boy.
Who's a good boy?
Who's a good boy?
The striker?
Are you a clever boy?
I'm probably above average.
Who's a clever boy? Sorry, mate. I've got to go and get the dog's barnet done.
Oh.
Make your best bet at Bet Victor.
Who's a naughty boy?
We're banking on that long weekend feeling at Spar. Red hot right now, we have Coca-Cola regular diet and zero 2 litre from €2.50 plus deposit. O'Donnell's crisps sharing bags 125 gram, buy one get one free. And Carlsberg 300ml and Rockshore 330ml 12-pack bottles only €12.50 each. See red. Find amazing Spar red value under the tree.
Welcome to Clayton Hotels, where every second is yours to enjoy however you like. And every experience is elevated with a little help from us. Clayton Hotels, where it's personal.
Warning, Domino's delivers quicker than you think. Hot and fresh in 25 minutes on average.
Red Bull gives you wings.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Here's what's coming up in the next while in terms of League of Ireland Premier Division action. On Monday, we are at the Ryan McBride Brandywell for Derry City against St Pat's. Next Friday in Tala for Shamrock Rovers against Drogheda. Following Friday then, it's Bows against Shells. And the Monday after that, in this busy spell of the season, it is Shelburne and Drogheda. Drogheda 2-2 it finished in their game at the Showgrounds tonight. That was our live game. He scored his 6th goal of the season season so far for Sligo, and he was chosen as the SSE Electricity Player of the Match. Sligo Rovers young striker Owen Elding is with Will Dalton now.
Owen Elding, you are the SSE Electricity Player of the Match. Congratulations. Oh, what a game. Describe that to us.
Thank you, yeah. I thought we showed good character again to come back. We keep giving away stupid goals every week, giving ourselves a mountain to climb, but yeah, just thankful we can get back into the game in front of our fans and get a point on the board.
You seem to be coming into the game in the first half. There might have been a bit of a lack of sharpness maybe up front from yourselves. We found yourselves 1-0 down at the break. Did you feel a little bit unlucky to be behind?
Yeah, we gave away a sloppy goal, another set piece that we try and stop. But yeah, we didn't do enough in the first half to trouble the keeper, but I thought second half we showed good character and obviously got a point.
Second half again, you were coming into your own, midway through the second half, and then another mistake, you're 2-0 down.
Yeah, look, it can't keep happening every week. We just give away soft goals, but it's just about lads coming off the bench. Fransley again come off the bench, made an impact, and that's all we can ask.
We have to talk about the positives of that second half, because it didn't look like you were going to turn it around, but you did. Talk to me about the comeback. Yourself and Wolfe Fitzgerald seem to really find a fantastic combination, especially down the left-hand side, the crossing for you, the goal, and then the own goal as well. All of a sudden it's 2-2.
Yeah, when the ball goes out wide down the left, I know Will's got good change of pace, and I know the ball's coming in the box, and thankfully it found me. And then obviously Fransley coming off the bench and getting another goal, buzzing for him.
Did you feel a bit unlucky in the end not to have maybe got all 3 points?
Yeah, I think we might have left it a bit too late, but yeah, we're happy with a point.
Congratulations, we hope to see you in such fine form again. Shamrock Rovers next.
Thank you, take care.
Oh, he's a quality young player, isn't he, Owen Elding? We'll get to him in a moment there, but you heard from him, Vinny, about the frustration that I'm sure they all feel in the Sligo camp about the goals they're conceding. So let's get to that Thomas Alua goal. That put Drogheda 2-0 up, and it looked like cruising.
Yeah, they were in cruise control. It was good pressure by Warren Davis, and he wins. They win the ball back. Ultimately, he wins it back, and then it's a brilliant cross from him. But John Russell will be really frustrated with, that's his most experienced player in many ways, John Mann, on the pitch, and he's just got to sort his feet out. He's in a half-decent position, quicker feet, maybe a little bit more match sharpness about him, and clear that. And it's just a gift. And Alua does really well. It's very calm and a short finish. And Drogheda were just in total cruise control at that stage.
And you just wondered about Sligo and John Mahon thumping the ground like, the old Sami Kufur back in the day for Bayern Munich in the despair in their situation. And then it all just turns around. Smug pundit time for you, Conan, because you picked Owen Elding before the match as player to watch. And he really delivered for his team when they needed him.
He was brilliant. Didn't he? First 25 minutes he was excellent. Kind of went out of it because Sligo went out of it. Like, just as we talked about at half time, he'd be disappointed with that chance. But this is what he does best. He just drives at players, and he's just wanting Bolger just to step in. He does. He knows he has him for pace, and it's a great, wonderful effort. And he hits the target with it. Again, this one he just snatches at it a little bit and puts it wide. But his goal is excellent. He scores so many goals like this in games. Just a little bit of trickery there, but he's always wants to be at the back post. But you see here when the ball comes out to Will Fitzgerald, he knows Ahui is struggling for injury, and just this little left foot, right foot, brilliant bit of skill from him. And look at Fitzgerald at the back, or Elding at the back post, just gets in behind Bolger. Bolger will be very disappointed with his defensive bit of play there, and brilliant finish.
That's a Conor born distance as well.
Yeah, you just won't let that one go.
No.
That's decision, or I don't know if it was a decision, but they didn't take Ahui off. He was injured for a good 10 minutes beforehand. Is that just a little moment where they could have acted quicker to get him off the field? Because clearly Fitzgerald thought, I have this guy in toast now.
He should have been taken off when the incident happened. Keith called it in commentary as well. It looked like he kind of hyperextended his knee. He was struggling for about 5-6 minutes after that. The ball had went out of play literally 30 seconds before the goal went in. Don't understand why the substitution wasn't made, because Owen Lambe was at the side of the pitch, and they were made to pay.
Let's look at the equaliser then, and we do have to give due credit, because we were talking at half time, what are Sligo going to do now? They brought on Lomboto, as Elding mentioned in his interview. He did make a difference tonight, didn't he?
Yeah, he got them higher up the pitch, and ultimately that was what changed the game for them. He was winning throw-ins, so just putting those Drogheda centre-halves under a bit of pressure. You see here, we'd be really disappointed with Keeley. He's in a good set position, but he's too high. He's standing too high. He's got to be a little bit crouched so he can then drop a shoulder and react to Lomboto's first touch.
You were all both ready to start to wax lyrical about Drogheda's defending before that, weren't you?
Well, yeah, look, that just shows you this league will make you look stupid at times. They defended everything all season long. They only conceded 9 goals. And I just think they got a little bit too open, a little bit too stretched throughout the whole pitch. I mean, you look at Ryan Brennan just before that, just switched off. A lot of players have switched off, probably thought the job was done, and ultimately they've been punished.
Yeah, OK, let's hear from the Sligo manager then, John Russell. He's standing by with Will.
John, an absolutely fantastic game for the neutrals at home watching tonight. I think midway through the second half you might have taken a point, but I saw you there at the end. You seemed disappointed not to get all 3. Describe an absolutely thrilling encounter tonight.
Yeah, brilliant for the people tuning in. Definitely disappointed not to take 3 points. I felt we were in the ascendancy second half. Look, first half we were off it, we were flat, we played into Drogheda's hands. You know, they score off a set play, they sit in that low block. The pitch was sticky tonight and didn't allow us to get those combinations, and we didn't hurt them enough in behind the first half. Second half we changed it up, and I felt first 10-15 minutes we were on top, creating chances, and then we gift a goal away, and that's been our Achilles heel this year. You know, I spoke before the game, we want to be solid defensively, but the 2 goals we've given away, so disappointing, because we should be winning matches like this. But the character, the resilience in the group to come back, brilliant performance second half to get back 2-2, but disappointing not to take 3 points.
Realistically, when you were 2-0 down, did you really think it was within your team to actually come back?
No, I did, because we were in this situation start of the season against Waterford. We're 2-0 down, got back to 2-1, missed the penalty, went 3-1. This team shows it over and over again. There's such a group that are together for a short space of time. Brilliant character. We know we can score goals. It's just cutting out these mad goals we're giving away.
We will talk about the positives in a second, but those little negatives, those little moments, those mistakes, which are just costing you so many points. How do you work on that? Is that individual, you on the training pitch, or again, as we said before the game, as a unit?
Yeah, look, I don't think the second one, we're in possession of the ball, it's decision making, but we've got young players, and sometimes that's the reality of playing 18, 19, 20 year olds. They're going to have to on TV make these decisions, and sometimes it comes back and bites you, but we have to be, as a group, when someone does make a mistake, it's about digging them out and making sure that we're sprinting into position and making good decisions. We should be clearing the ball, and that second one, they shouldn't get into the box.
Absolutely proud of some of those players tonight.
Tough games to come for them in the next while. Conan, Rovers, Bulls, Galway, Shells, their next 4. But how crucial could that point be in the manner they dug it out, Sligo, in terms of what happens going forward?
Yeah, John was right. They showed huge character in that second half. From the start, Francili Lomboto, when he came on, he just got them higher up the pitch, as Vinny talked about. It was disappointing to concede the way they did. It shows the inexperience. We talked about that before the game as well. But like I said, the character from young players, the likes of Owen, Elding, Will Fitzgerald, I said at half-time about him not scoring enough goals, but what he doesn't score on goals, he creates in other areas of the pitch. And he was fantastic in second half, and the combination between those two was key. Conor Malley was John Russell said before the game about Conor Malley, looking forward to seeing him play. First half he was non-existent. Second half he started to get on the ball with Jake Doyle-Hayes in the middle and start to make things happen. They need to do that in the next couple of games. OK, going to take a quick break now. When we come back though, we have that roundup of all the goals from around the grounds tonight. Goals all the way after this. Don't go anywhere.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Host plenty of brilliant get-togethers with Lidl. Our Claim to Flame, our Board B approved barbecue meats, any 3 for just €9. Everyone's invited. And if you need some lawn care motivation, our Parkside Robot Lawnmower is only $199.99. Shop without compromise. Go full Lidl this bank holiday.
Do you have painful feet deformed by a hallux valgus? Try the Epitact Flexible Bunion Corrector. It straightens your foot and eases rubbing thanks to the Epithelium Flex. Extra thin, it fits any shoe. Epitact, foot care is our speciality. And simply to protect your bunion, choose the Epitact Bunion Protector.
Witness the fitness, the clock will tell 11. One hope, one quest.
Tomorrow starts tonight. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Tired of waiting for relief from pain? For effective relief that gets to work 2 times faster than standard ibuprofen, try Nurofen Express Maximum Strength. The distinctive formulation contains ibuprofen sodium dihydrate, which absorbs 2 times faster than standard ibuprofen, providing effective pain relief. Try Nurofen Express Maximum Strength.
Rockshore, official beer of the League of Ireland.
Hi guys! My skin was as patchy as a world map before I found my ultimate routine for even skin tone and dark spots. Step 1, Luminous 630 Serum improved the evenness of my skin tone. Step 2, the Day Fluid with SPF 50 helped prevent dark spots. Nivea Luminous 630. Skin is for owning it, Nivea is for skin.
Switch to 3 and get the all-new Samsung Galaxy S25 from an amazing $999. Plus, get cash back for your old phone when you trade in. Out with the old, in with the incredible. Switch in store or see 3.ie today. 3, Ireland's fastest 5G network.
Get moving with new, lower fixed mortgage rates from PTSB. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, our dedicated team can help you find a rate that's right for you. And with our online portal to track every stage of your application, it all comes together for a mortgage experience that's altogether more human. PTSB. Apply online today.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Now, lots of sport coming up on Virgin Media Television over the next couple of days. We have that Diamond League Athletics from Shanghai with Elicha involved on Virgin Media 2 tomorrow afternoon. The 2000 Guineas on Virgin Media 1. The Kentucky Derby then on Virgin Media 2. And the 1000 Guineas on Virgin Media 1 on Sunday. Big weekend for horse racing as well. Let's check in then on tonight's other games in the League of Ireland Premier Division. We're going to start with a clash of in-form Bohemians and Waterford at Dalymount Park, and it was the visitors, who of course are still without a permanent manager, who went ahead in this one. Came in additional time at the end of the first half. James Olejinka getting his first goal for his new club. His celebration might need a little bit of work though. He's obviously practicing on a shooting more than celebrating, so we'll give him time on that one. Whatever was said though by Alan Reynolds at half-time seemed to work. Bows equalised shortly after the break. A scrappy one, instinctive James Clark finish for the goal in the end. However, Waterford changed the story once again. It was Tommy Lonergan showing nice composure. He regained the lead for the Blues. Who'd be a Bows fan? 3 wins on the spin, 3 home wins as well. But back to the home Blues for them, and another interim win for interim boss Matt Lawler, as they triumph 2-1 away from home Waterford. Down to Turner's Cross next, where second bottom Cork City took on Shamrock Rovers, coming off 3 games without a win. The visitors, though, got the opening goal. A bit of a scrappy one in the box. Cork struggling to clear it. Came out to John O'Sullivan. His shot hit the post. And Rory Gaffney, the sharpest to react. 1-0 to Shamrock Rovers. But Cork, with all their injury problems, not done. It came from a free kick, the equaliser. Not exactly a training ground one, but it fell nicely to Freddie Anderson. Gennaro Daniels, one of the interim or the stopgap signings they brought in, setting it up for him, and that was how it finished for the bottom corner there. Freddie Anderson 1-1. Good point for Cork, that one. From one end of the country to the other, up to the Ryan McBride Brandywell, scene of Shelbourne's title win last season. They were back there tonight to face Derry City. It didn't go to plan for the champions. One of the in-form players in the league, Michael Duffy, got the home fans off their seats. Shane Ferguson's corner and Duffy unmarked at the back post. The 6th goal of the season. What a season he is having. And it was 2-0 to the home side just after the half-hour mark. A comedy of errors at the back for Shell. Sam Bone fluffing it. And Liam Boyce then. And didn't he take the chance well? And there were no further goals in this one as Derry made a big statement tonight with a 2-0 victory. That's 4 without a win now for Shells, slipping down the table, the champions. Finally then, to Richmond Park. And that big meeting of 3rd place Pats and 2nd place Galway United. And it was Pats that had the livelier start in this one. Some very tidy football indeed here. Cian Levy and Aidan Keena. And in the end, it was Levy putting his team in front. Stephen Kenny's side then made it 2-0 on 37 minutes. It was Zach Elbazedi who had the shot. Rob Slevin deflected it in. The goals dried up in the second half, and the only real incident of note was a sending off for Axel Sjoberg of Pats, but didn't make a difference. They picked up all 3 points on the night. And confirmation of all tonight's results. Disappointment for Bowes at home to Dalymount. Big win for Waterford. Point for Cork City at home to Shamrock Rovers going from behind. Derry City back on track after defeat in Waterford. Derry 2, Shelburne 0. 2-2 in our live game at the showgrounds between Sligo and Drogheda. And that win for St Patrick's Athletic, accompanied by Drogheda dropping points, means the Pats are top of the league. Drogheda 2nd, Sligo remain bottom. That point for Cork, keeping the gap at 3. 2-2 in our live game. Let's hear from that Drogheda manager now, Kevin Doherty, who's standing by with Will.
Kevin, overall, you must be very disappointed not to be leaving here tonight with 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly after last week, and when we go a goal up and then we see 2 goals. Really, really disappointed with the defending. I've literally gone through it there on the. There's no point in waiting until tomorrow morning to go through stuff. We've gone through it there. Defending is really, really poor for both their goals. Like really, really poor. It's so disappointing. We have the best defensive record in the league, but when we're defending like that for a couple of goals, it's absolutely, it's very, very disappointing. Because again, like last week, we were in complete control of the game. We were 2-0 up. Really happy with the performance up till then, and then the 2 goals we give away is just it's very poor.
Well, let's start with the positives, because you were in control of the game. You invited some pressure from Sligo, but you seemed to just again be clinical when those moments came and found yourselves 2-0 up. You seemed to target Sligo, I think, with set pieces in the first half, and then the second goal again, more pressure on the defence and profited on a mistake.
Yeah. And the 2 good goals from our point of view, I suppose, because certainly, even yesterday, we literally worked on that one at the back post, and either man over at the back, because we knew we would if they did the same as they did last week. But that's the positives. But we should be leaving here with 3 points. I'm very, very disappointed. Again, I've heard, it's not just myself, it's other managers, everyone's always disappointed with the goals you concede, but that's it. We're very, very, very disappointed with the couple.
And you look at the goals you did concede, would you put that down to, because it was obviously, I think, 6 minutes in between both, down to just lapses in concentration?
No, I'd put it down to poor defending. Really, really poor defending. Not concentration. There's the first one, we've spoken all week. Even in the... And I will say, we were trying to make a sub, and we did say we'd be able to make a sub at that stage, and we were going to change over there, because again, obviously, Elicha got a bang on the knee, and be careful, and was getting tired anyway. But then 2 lads just dive in. Elding comes across, as he does in every single clip we showed last week. Went right across, gets in front. He's being marked, then he's not marked all of a sudden. That's a really, really poor goal. The second goal, for me, is even worse. It's a really, really poor. It starts with our corner weaving another offensive action. We don't get across quick enough. We're well set up, we're set right, but then we put out for a throw and we don't regroup quick enough. Get a ball again played in. Lomboto out, torn way too easily, and then another player comes across and puts it in his own net, which how you manage to do that from that side. But look, it's disappointing. And then we might have got out of jail and got the 3 points because we've an absolute stonewall penalty. And how it's not seen.
So you look back at that and you think that was a penalty because obviously it hit the post. And
yeah. And probably it's not the first time I've come on here and feel that we've been really hard done by. It's probably the third or fourth time, and then you hear back, and I guarantee you I'll hear back in a couple of weeks, oh yeah, we had a look at that and we were all talking about it. It's a definite penalty, because it's not the first time it's happened to us. It happened to us twice in recent games where we've been very harshly done by. That might sound that I'm accepting that we didn't defend properly for the goals, but anybody can see it's yeah, I'm very, very disappointed. As I said, yeah, there's no point saying anymore.
Okay, well, if we look ahead, I suppose Cork next, a good chance to get 3 points on the board. But from, again, the results we've seen in the league tonight, it does seem that anybody is able to take points off anyone at the moment. Because of probably how the game, I didn't even look at them yet, so I'll have a look. I'm sure they weren't all straightforward, as they don't tend to be in this league. But yeah, look, again, you want to say about bouncing back, but there's an awful lot of good tonight. We've come down. Sligo have been, obviously they've been scoring a lot of goals, and we were in a lot of control and should have won the game. I'm 100% sure of that. But we do get ourselves ready. We go home and we get ourselves ready for Monday. Kevin, thanks for a spectacular match.
Going to be brutally honest here, we didn't catch a massive penalty shout in that game from Drogheda point of view, so we think it's the late-headed chance that we think Owen Elding was heroic from a Sligo point of view in getting it off the line. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it bounces up, and for me, it's sort of in that area. I thought was around his chest. Yeah, that's the only thing I can see.
Yeah, okay, let's see it then.
Yeah, it looks like, for me, it came off his chest. Elding at the time celebrated it. I don't think anyone appealed for it. Kevin's obviously seen it different. I'm sure with modern technology, he's seen that back in the dressing room. He feels it was hand. I think that would have been extremely harsh. It was a huge moment. Elding got man the match. No, I don't think it hits his hand. I'm not having that, and I don't. If that's the incident he's talking about, we'll find out later on in the week, or as we come on, we'll find out.
We thought we were going to have one of those mad injury time winners then as well.
Imagine coming back from 2-0 down and me talking about Wolfe Fitzgerald not scoring goals, and he comes off in the 95th minute with a goal.
Camera
like
would
that.
have just cut to you, right tight shot of you. Want to react to that Kevin Doherty interview in general, though? He tore absolute strips off his players there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think Kevin isn't shy when it comes to those type of interviews. There's times where you should say certain things like that, and there's other times you don't. He feels it's the right moment to have a go of his players. They have defended brilliantly, he's right. I think some of that's sometimes it's better in a dressing room. He'll say he's already done it. He feels.
Should he not make that public?
He has defended his players a lot over the course of the season, because remember when a lot of people thought they were going to be going down, relegation candidates, and now they were top of the league before tonight. So he has defended his players, so it's important that he is able to do both, but in the right way.
Yeah, there won't be much cracking banter on the bus back from Sligo this evening. I'd say it might be stony silence there. Thanks, lads, for your contributions this evening. Thanks to Conor and Vinny in studio. Sligo came from 2 goals down to get a draw in what could be a very valuable point in their battle against the drop. We'll see. Bye for now.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.